should people invest in gold or silver today?
So in the advisory that we ran, by principle, we always had 10% in silver,
In silver, not gold.
not gold. Why? Because I think the average Indian household has enough gold.
Can you explain कि अभी gold और silver के prices इतने बढ़ क्यों रहे suddenly?
Every central bank effectively is supposed to have a gold reserve against which they can issue currencies.
हाँ,
और in most cases जितना gold इन लोग खरीद रहे उतना gold है ही नहीं.
world में exist ही नहीं करते.
Probably नहीं, world में हो सकता है, but माइंड नहीं है
Okay.
या free available नहीं है.
You started investing at 15 and became so good at it that top public companies started threatening you with lawsuits.
And I did join the market and I first time saw the valuation. That stock had gone up 13-14x.
3 साल में.
3 साल में वहाँ पे समझ में ये आ गया था कि आपको अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है तो इट हैज टू बी a लॉन्ग टर्म थिंग, बी
कि आप stocks से almost rental income कैसे कमा रहे हैं?
राइट. आई डोंट थिंक पीपल डू इट और डोंट नो इनफ अबाउट इट.
I had never heard about it.
Yeah.
कि stock से आपको monthly income आ रही है.
So Berger was a 400 rupee stock. We got 10 rupees every month just to hold it.
तो 24% आप साल का कमा रहे हो बस होल्ड करेंगे.
5 साल.
कैसे? अच्छा, लेट्स इमेजिन कि जो हमारी ऑडियंस देख रही है उसमें देयर इज वन सेक्शन जो 20,000 अ मंथ कमाती है, एक और सेक्शन है जो 50,000, एक और सेक्शन 1 लाख, एंड लेट्स अज्यूम एक है कि 5-10 लाख से. इनको कैसे अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी प्लान करनी चाहिए?
देखो जो 20,000 पर मंथ कमाता है ना, आई थिंक वेयर पीपल मिस्टेक इट इज व्हेन
Mayank, thank you so much for being here. You started investing at 15 and became so good at it that top public companies started threatening you with lawsuits. So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell us about where you grew up, how was childhood like, what got you into finance?
Okay, so growing up, like we've been in the business for like 3 generations now. I'm the 4th.
In the same business.
Yeah, and like in the stock markets, right?
हाँ.
And markets have over the years इतना change हुआ है. And you know, like घर पे the whole atmosphere was just markets. So dad and all were brokers. And because of that, you had an early interest. जैसे होता है ना, if you have a family of movie stars. So because the whole discussion at home is just movies and music, you tend to take an interest in that. So something similar for me with finance. And also back then, investing wasn't about going to a screener or like Yahoo Finance. So I think where I started from was when I was 15 on a Diwali, I had the savings and I wanted to invest, like, you know, put that somewhere. And I casually asked dad ki kya karna chahiye. So papa was like, you know, maybe put it in the markets. But then abhi tak kya hua tha ki in the family sab log khali broking mein the. तो investing per se कोई करता नहीं था.
दूसरों को हेल्प करते थे इन्वेस्ट करने में.
मोर देन दैट, पहले क्या होता था ना कि ब्रोकिंग एज अ बिजनेस एग्जिस्टेड. जैसे अभी क्या हो गया, ब्रोकिंग इज ऑनलाइन, राइट?
हाँ.
पहले brokers actually had to take orders from clients, go to the hall and find other brokers who could then go to their clients, take those like
अच्छा,
take
ये सब
those
फिजिकली हो रहा
orders.
था.
हाँ, like before 1995.
Okay.
So that way broking was a business. But by the time I was growing up, सब कुछ ऑनलाइन हो गया था, right? So Papa's point was to start investing, like, you know, find a stock. But then that time internet was just happening. I remember this was when I was in class 10,
Okay.
right? So I remember starting my research on a company called Balkrishna Industries.
Okay.
We didn't get their annual reports. So I had to go buy a stock, send them an email with the share folio number, and then they couriered the whole annual report to me, which came like in 2 months.
Okay.
तो खाली रिसर्च चालू करना को 2 महीना लगा था.
अच्छा. एंड स्टॉक कैसे खरीद लिया आपने? पैन कार्ड तो होगा नहीं आपके पास.
नहीं, I borrowed my dad's name or something.
Okay.
I just told dad because
हाँ.
we were in the same business.
हाँ.
It didn't really matter on whose name it was.
Correct,
It was
correct,
just the
हाँ.
practice of it, right?
Right, right.
Plus also when you're 15 years old, you really don't care किसके नाम पे क्या हो रहा है, मतलब.
हाँ, that is a real. I get it. Yeah.
And also I don't think the amount was that significant to even be bothered, right?
Yeah.
But the interest got peaked from that point on. And I got interested in the whole process of it. मतलब अभी I think the new age investors and stock market people have lost touch to that, क्योंकि सब कुछ ऑटोमेटिक हो गया है. आप स्क्रीन पे जाके सर्च करते हो, ये पी चाहिए, ये ग्रोथ चाहिए, एंड एक मेन्यू कार्ड की तरह वो दे देता है, इतना इतना कंपनीज अवेलेबल है, एंड उसमें भी आप जाकर के चूज करते हो विच मे और मे नॉट रियली वर्क आउट. बट द पॉइंट आई एम मेकिंग इज देयर वाज अ टाइम व्हेन just to initiate research was a 3-month process.
True. Yeah.
And मतलब आजकल this is something I've noticed with a lot of young investors where, you know, 3 महीना भी long term लगता है लोगों को. But yeah, so once that had happened, I had made my first investment. I joined work 3 years later when I was off school. And the 3 years of this, I kept buying that same stock, you know, because
Same stock.
yeah, for 3 straight years, I was just buying that with whatever money I was saving.
Why that same stock?
I'll come to that. So
Okay.
basically, I was buying that with whatever money I was saving was because all the saving, like, you know, Diwali ka Shagan and all that, just kept going on that stock. And why that stock was because the amount of effort which went into researching for it, right?
Okay.
And I didn't want to do all that again. Because I said, right, like it took 3-4 months. And luckily, touch wood, even though I don't think I understood what CAGR and returns were, I just kept buying that. मतलब I genuinely didn't think कि वो 3 साल में मेरे जो पैसे डाले हैं वो grow हुए हैं, नहीं हुए हैं, क्या हुआ है, मेरे को पता भी नहीं था. And 3 years later, when I did join the market and I first time saw the valuation, that stock had gone up 13-14x.
3 साल में.
3 साल में. That kind of inculcated a very strong discipline around investing. मतलब वहाँ पे समझ में ये आ गया था कि आपको अगर इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है तो it has to be a long term thing. B, you don't want to churn stocks too often or, you know, like let go of that research because that research is also an investment in the company.
हाँ.
इसमें एक और समझ में ये आ गया था कि that research also kind of biases you. Which I've seen in today's date, what happens to a lot of people is when they've researched the stock for too much, they want to bet on that and make money from that because
क्योंकि इतना टाइम लगा है.
Exactly.
Sunk cost हो गया.
हाँ, so there's also an emotional bias to it.
हाँ.
But like, you know, going back to your question, which was that is how the interest came up, and once you made money in any business or anything, interest kind of gets peaked, you know.
Correct.
And I was like, you know, 13-14x in 3 years और कहाँ होता है?
But ये हमेशा से था कि अपना बिजनेस करना है.
Not really. अपना business करना है भी बहुत interesting story था.
हाँ.
So originally, because my family business and all was always broking, right? And that is when I realized I wanted to become an investor or get into wealth management for that thing. So I looked for jobs, and the issue was I did my BCom right after school. The issue was when I looked for jobs as a BCom, Calcutta में आपको अच्छा high paying jobs मिलता नहीं है, especially like the wealth industry, right? The second thing was the few jobs that I got through connections and like contacts and stuff. I figured no one was doing anything new. Like, you know, I think it's like a glitch in the finance industry and people might like chase me for it. But the issue with most bigger banks or like investment funds, right, is people don't buy stocks based on the research that they come in with. They mostly chase information or something like that, right? So even like the jobs I tried to get into, I figured कि research के नाम पे अपने को क्या करना था was some guy would tell you कि ये stock लेना है.
आप उसको prove करो कि लेना चाहिए.
हाँ, मतलब आप justify उसकी thesis को कर रहे हो.
हाँ.
तो वहाँ पे कुछ that wasn't something I was looking for because I was generally interested in businesses. तो फिर वहाँ पे समझ में आया कि job तो एक बार के लिए put on like the back burner. That's when I started doing after my BCom, I started doing CFA and FRM and everything to understand finance a little bit more. And then again, I went to the whole applying job cycle, and I figured that didn't change much. Which is when we were like, you know, we could start ourselves. Like we could start pitching ideas to people and see how that goes. That's when I registered an advisory firm.
Okay, so in simple words, tell our audience what do you do today? Because मैं जानता हूँ बहुत लोग fund manage करते हैं, but आपका थोड़ा अलग है, right? So can you explain that?
तो हम लोग का थीसिस क्या है ना, मतलब जैसे जो मैं बोल रहा था बालकृष्णा के बारे में, उससे क्या हुआ ना कि एक वर्किंग मॉडल मिल गया कि इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे करना है.
ठीक है.
अब प्रॉब्लम क्या जो मेरे को समझ में आया इवेंचुअली वाज बहुत जन स्मॉल कैप माइक्रो कैप में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, ठीक है, तो हम लोग वहाँ नहीं जाते. हम लोग जनरली चूज करते हैं कि हम लोग को वहाँ नहीं जाना है बिकॉज एज बफेट सेज, राइट, डोंट लूज मनी एंड लाइक दैट्स द फर्स्ट रूल ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग.
ओके.
सो वही है कि अगर अपने वैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं जहाँ पे लॉस का चांसेस खुद में कम है, तो आप एक तो क्या है कि आप खोगे नहीं. अगर आप नहीं खो रहे हो और आपका इकोनॉमी ग्रो कर रहा है तो इनएविटेबली आप ग्रो करोगे.
ठीक है.
अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना कि व्हाट आई हैव नोटिस्ड इज जितने बड़े फंड्स हैं ना, मोस्ट फंड्स और मोस्ट एडवाइजर्स आल्सो डोंट डू दिस बिकॉज इट डजंट सेल. क्या होता है ना, अगर आपके पास कोई आके बोलता है कि ये देखो मैं उसको 2 रुपये का शेयर दिलाया था जो आज 200 हो गया है, तो वो थोड़ा सा ब्रैग करने को मिलता है. तो हम लोग अपने क्लाइंटों को बोलते हैं कि आपको ब्रैगिंग राइट्स तो नहीं मिलने वाला है.
अच्छा.
Probably हम लोग आपको कोई मल्टीबैगर लाके नहीं देंगे, but the idea is the portfolio will become a multi-bagger eventually.
Okay.
Because the portfolio should grow at 25% or 20%. Ideally क्या होता है कि in most cases portfolios of people's investments, they have few lucky strikes. We are trying to average out on that. So we're saying instead of buying a lot of companies of which a few will be great returns, we'll buy a few great companies to have average returns.
Okay.
So the law of averages kicks in. We make 20% CAGR and most of those portfolios will make 13-14% CAGR.
So 20% CAGR is like a huge CAGR, right? It's not like a simple CAGR.
So
तो ऐसा आप क्या कर रहे हो?
इसीलिए हम लोग AIF रजिस्टर किए. तो जब हम लोग का एडवाइजरी था ना, एडवाइजरी में वी रियलाइज कि द एवरेज क्लाइंटाइल वाज रिटेल. तो होता क्या ना कि जिसको 2-5 लाख लगाना है, उसको 2-5 लाख लगा के 40-50% का रिटर्न चाहिए, तो उसका वो भूख होता है.
हाँ.
AIF में क्या है कि मिनिमम इन्वेस्टमेंट 1 करोड़ रुपए है. तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि इन क्लाइंट्स को ना प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ कैपिटल चाहिए.
हाँ.
तो इनके लिए 20 काफी है.
हाँ.
व्हाट वी आर डूइंग डिफरेंटली, हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं ऐसे कंपनीज लेने के जो ऑलरेडी बड़े हैं. ठीक है. अगर आप ऐसा सोचते हो ना, एवरी बिजनेस हैज इट्स साइकिल्स. द ग्लिच इज इंस्टेड ऑफ ट्राइंग टू फाइंड companies which are going into a capex or something, which is going through an inflection or a turnaround story, we look at great companies which are going through a bad business cycle.
Okay.
Example, अभी जैसे अगर आप सोचते हो तो FMCG और consumption hasn't moved in the last 5 years.
अच्छा.
Last 5 years has been one of India's biggest bull runs, but most consumption stocks have not made money.
Okay.
Right. For example, we bought Marico, which is a great stock last year in the advisory. That went from 500 to 750. That's 50% return in a company like Marico, which is fail safe. Marico fail नहीं हो सकता.
हाँ.
Theoretically नहीं हो सकता क्योंकि उसमें debt नहीं है.
हाँ.
And in real terms, it depends on consumption, but you can't replace a company like Marico.
Yeah.
So same thing. But again, अगर मैं किसी को बोलता हूँ ना, किसी को जाके मैं अगर बोलता हूँ कि आप Marico लो, तो वो सुन के सुंदर नहीं लगता है.
हाँ.
क्योंकि वो 10 गुना नहीं होगा.
हाँ.
तो ये हम लोग कर रहे हैं. एंड अब क्या है ना कि हम लोग इसको, जो हम लोग का पोर्टफोलियो मैकेनिक्स है, इट्स फुली डाइवर्सिफाइड. मतलब हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि 20 से 30 कंपनी होनी चाहिए जिसमें कि अपने पास हर एक इंडस्ट्री का एक लीडर हो ऑफ सॉर्ट्स.
Okay. So you're not going sector specific.
वी आर नॉट, वी आर गोइंग इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक.
Okay.
सो वी आर टेकिंग अ बिगर सबसेट, बट द आइडिया इज टू बेट ऑन द इकोनॉमी. अब इसमें हो सकता है कि कोई एक सब सेक्टर ऑफ द इकोनॉमी माइट गो मल्टीफोल्ड, राइट. जैसे अगर आप सोचते हो तो शुगर वाज वन सच थिंग, बिकॉज sugar didn't make money for the longest time because of leverage and debt issues. As soon as ethanol happened, suddenly these weren't a consumption stock anymore. I mean, they were, but from being a house sugar situation, they turned into like a very mandatory government buying petrol blending thing. So all these stocks got re-rated. Like, I think EID Perry was in our portfolio in the last 3-4 months and almost doubled.
Tell me that part also कि आप stocks से almost rental income कैसे कमा रहे हैं?
Right. So this is something which I think most people, I don't think people do it or don't know enough about it.
I had never heard about it.
Yeah.
कि stocks से आपको monthly income आ रही है.
But इसमें क्या होता है ना कि as I said, it's not consistent, and B, it isn't reliable for the next month. मतलब आपको 1, 2, 3 महीना मिलता है तो it's a good, like it's a great deal. I think my favorite example with that is Berger.
Okay.
इसका बेसिक मैकेनिक्स क्या होता है ना कि एज आपको पता होगा, फॉर एग्जांपल डेरिवेटिव इज अ सबसेट ऑफ द मार्केट. सो इक्विटी एंड योर डेरिवेटिव्स, राइट. इक्विटी में क्या होता है कि आप पैसे देते हो और शेयर ले लेते हो.
ठीक है.
और वो ट्रांजैक्शन वहाँ खत्म हो जाता है. डेरिवेटिव में क्या होता है कि आपको पैसे लेने हैं, आपको शेयर लेना है, और आपके पास सोचो पूरे पैसे नहीं है, तो आप एक लेवरेज से लेते हो. बेसिकली 25% आप देते हो एंड आपको एक्सपोजर ऑफ द इंटायर क्वांटिटी मिलता है. इसमें क्या होता है कि,
और ये लेवरेज हमें कौन दे? कोई NBFC कोई बैंक देती है हमें?
नहीं, ये डेरिवेटिव है. इट्स अ इंस्ट्रूमेंट इन द मार्केट. जैसे ऑप्शन है ना,
हाँ,
वैसे ही फ्यूचर्स होता है.
हाँ, बट ये लोन है, करेक्ट?
सिंथेटिक लोन है.
सिंथेटिक लोन है, बट अगर कल को मैंने इसको मीट नहीं किया, someone will come after me, correct?
No. So how this works is you buy it on the exchange. So say you buy 10,000 shares of a company which is in the futures market, which is set to expire end of this month. You pay 25%. Okay. If the stock goes up by 10%, you get 10% from the exchange. If the stock goes down by 10%, you pay that 10%, which from the 25% you've already given them. And this has to roll over every month. Any month when you fail to roll it over, you have to pay for the entire quantity. If you fail to do it, your position is squared with a penalty.
Okay.
Right? But then here, what happened, the difference here and the difference between this and doing it through NBFC is, in the NBFC situation, the interest rates are fixed by the NBFC. Here, the interest rates are fixed on demand supply. My favorite example is, we did this with Berger. So Berger was a 400 rupee stock for 4-5 years. We got 10 rupees every month just to hold it.
तो स्टॉक 500 रुपए का है,
हाँ,
आपको 10 रुपए पर मंथ मिल रहे हैं, which is like 2%.
roughly, yeah.
बस होल्ड करने के लिए.
हाँ.
तो 24% आप साल का कमा रहे हो बस होल्ड करने का.
5 साल.
कैसे?
that's the market.
अगर मुझे करना है ये बर्जर के साथ या कोई भी स्टॉक के साथ, ये होता कैसे एग्जैक्टली?
This is something you'll have to be on the watch out for on the NSE website, right? अब तो क्या है कि God bless technology, इतना कुछ इतना easily available हो गया है कि आप कहीं भी इसको खोज सकते हो, but NSE की वेबसाइट में आपको दिखता है.
तो एक बार
Right.
प्रोसेस बताओ कि आपने बर्जर का स्टॉक लिया,
हाँ.
क्या एग्जैक्टली आपने किया, मतलब व्हाट वर द टेक्निकलिटीज ऑफ इट, जिससे आपको 2% महीने का मिल रहा है प्लस जो स्टॉक की अपनी, तो आपने स्टॉक को लैंड बना दिया
Practically.
या कैसे?
But see, again, this is something which comes every once in a while. I'll tell you the mechanics behind it. It's presumed that there is somebody against the market who's selling the stock, who does not have enough stock to deliver. So he has to come to the leverage market and basically motivate you to buy it for him, right? And in this motivation, he's paying you that premium. तो ये कभी कभी होता है. जैसे अभी we had the same thing with Page Industries.
ठीक है.
Last 5 months, Page में मेरे को 1,000 rupees every month मिल रहा था for a 50,000 rupees stock.
That is again 2%.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's more.
1,000 rupees for 50,000 stock ना?
अच्छा हाँ 2%.
हाँ.
Yeah, 2%. हाँ. But like yeah, you know, तो वो कभी कभी होता है. एंड इसमें क्या होता है ना कि आपको बहुत केयरफुल होना होता है कि आप जो वो स्टॉक खरीद रहे हो वो कंपनी में फंडामेंटल वैल्यू है कि नहीं. क्योंकि ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि द कंपनी माइट हैव समथिंग वेरी नेगेटिव हैपनिंग.
ओके.
क्योंकि जो भी सामने आपको 2% या 4% ऑफ दैट दे रहा है, इट कुड बी दैट ही इज पेइंग यू टू बाय दैट स्टॉक फ्रॉम हिम, मे बी बिकॉज समथिंग इज अमिस. एंड वो होता है कभी कभी, लाइक यू नो. सो दैट्स वाई अपने खाली बर्जर के साथ या पेज के साथ करते हैं जहाँ पे मेरे को पक्का पता है कि ये कंपनी इट वोंट गो अंडर.
तो कोई बंदा बहुत ही गलत बेट ले रहा है, यू आर सेइंग आपको बेट लेना है, लो मैं आपके लिए होल्ड करूंगा, मेरे को होल्डिंग फीस दे दो.
आप इसको ऐसे बोल सकते हो, मतलब थियोरेटिकली ऐसे ही हो रहा है, बट इन प्रिंसिपल मतलब आपको बहुत केयरफुल होना होता है कि कंपनी फंडामेंटली उतनी स्ट्रांग है कि नहीं.
ओके.
बिकॉज अगेन विद पेज डिप 20% इन 1 month, इन ऑल दीज मंथ्स, राइट? बट वी डिडंट माइंड इट, क्योंकि मेरे को मेरा एक तो डिफरेंस मिल रहा था जो अपने यील्ड बोल रहे हैं, एंड प्लस मेरे को पता है कि पेज कांट गो ऑफ.
सो यू लाइक कि 20% गिर भी गया, मुझे पता है आगे बढ़ना ही बढ़ना है, अप्रिसिएशन आएगा इसमें,
राइट?
ओके.
तो बेसिकली अपने इफ यू मतलब इन नंबर्स अपने 45,000 के अराउंड में पेज अगर लिए थे एंड फॉर 5-6 months मेरे को 1,000 रुपये हर महीना मिला, जिसके बीच में वो एक बार 50,000 बिका, फिर 50 बिक के वो फिर जब आई थिंक ट्रम्प का भी अनाउंसमेंट आया था, सो इट टिप 20%, इट केम बैक टू 45, देन इट वेंट डाउन टू 42 आल्सो, एंड देन वी सोल्ड 45 अगेन. सो इफेक्टिवली इवन दो 5 महीने में मेरा स्टॉक प्राइस रिटर्न 0 था, बट मेरा यील्ड ऑन दैट वाज 10%, क्योंकि 2 into 5, राइट?
या व्हिच इज प्रीटी सिग्निफिकेंट.
अगर आप उसको कंपाउंड करते हो, इट गोज लाइक
या
through the roof. Again, the problem with this is it's not consistent. तो like अपने खाली 5 ही महीना कर पाया because 6th month से वो नहीं था.
बट ठीक है, इससे आपके सारे पोर्टफोलियो के रिटर्न्स कोई कुशन मिल जाएगा ना.
करेक्ट. तो इसलिए क्या है ना कि अपना ऑन द फंड अपने कोशिश करते हैं कि ये साथ चीज सब रहे. तो वैसे क्या है कि इवन इफ जैसे अभी मार्केट्स आर लिटिल चॉपी, तो यहाँ पे डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टिंग में अल्फा नहीं जनरेट होगा. तो ये सब रहने से क्या है कि एक तो क्वेश्चन रहे कि इवन इफ द मार्केट्स डोंट परफॉर्म, आपका कहीं से अल्फा जनरेट हो रहा है. एंड होता है क्या ना कि दिस इंक्रीमेंटल कैश फ्लो यू कैन यूज टू बाय मोर स्टॉक्स बिकॉज द एंटायर मार्केट इज चीपर.
हाँ, ओके ओके.
इफेक्टिवली अपने क्या कर रहे हैं, अगेन गोइंग बैक टू व्हाट वी आर डूइंग डिफरेंटली, द क्रक्स ऑफ इट इज कि अपने को इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है इन ग्रेट स्ट्रॉन्ग बिजनेसेस व्हिच आर गोइंग थ्रू अ बैड मार्केट साइकिल. अब इसको करने के लिए अपने को रनिंग कैश फ्लो चाहिए, वो कैश फ्लो भी अपने को जनरेट करना है. सो थिंग्स लाइक दीज रियली हेल्प.
So, what experience, does someone need to do all this?
I think I got very lucky because, like being born in that environment, being able to start investing in that age, in that market cycle. अगर आप सोचते हो तो मैं 30 years के एज में मेरे पास 12 साल का इन्वेस्टिंग एक्सपीरियंस है.
हाँ.
Which is a big win because in most cases, again, like in my interactions also with a lot of big senior fund managers, they don't understand or realize if investing is what they really want to do as a career for the first 20 years of their life. अभी भी अगर सोचते हो ना तो इंडिया एज अ सोसाइटी वी आर स्टिल वेरी imposed upon kind of a thing. तो यहाँ पे बहुत बार तो क्या होता है कि people when they reach to 36 and 40 of their years of age, they are not sure if this is what they want to do.
क्योंकि किसी ने बोला कि कर रहे हो तो कर लिया.
हाँ, और आप होता क्या ना कि आप कॉलेज क्योंकि नंबर पे अच्छे नंबर आए तो बेस्ट कॉलेज में चले गए, वहाँ पे जो स्ट्रीम मिला वो स्ट्रीम आप ले लिए, उसके बाद जो प्लेसमेंट में आपको पिकअप किया वहाँ चले गए, फिर जो होते चला गया आप करते चले गए, तो आपको वो चॉइस नहीं मिलता है, विच आई गॉट वेरी लकी विद. सो आई थिंक सबसे पहला तो वो चीज़ होता है कि आपको पता होना चाहिए करना है कि नहीं.
ठीक है, बट अगर पता है कि करना है, क्वालिफिकेशंस क्या चाहिए?
Qualifications, I think CFA बहुत ज़रूरी है.
Okay.
Reason being CFA is one of those institutes बोल लो या thought of मतलब knowledge stack ऐसा है जो अपने आप को with time change करता है.
अच्छा.
So I don't think the CA curriculum has been changed as often, right? I did my CFA in 2019. I passed level 3. In 6 years, I think 30-40% of the curriculum changed.
अच्छा, okay.
And
And
they
do
have-
you have to go back and study it then?
I don't,
हाँ.
but I can. मतलब
Okay.
मेरे को email में मिलते रहते हैं कि अगर आप चाहते हो तो मेरे लिए free में I can go
हाँ,
through it
हाँ.
as refresher readings, which I do as practice.
Hmm.
But am I required to? I'm not.
तो कितना टाइम लगा CFA and I know you've done your FRM also.
हाँ.
तो एक बार क्विकली ये बताओ कि CFA FRM कहाँ हेल्प करता है, आपको ये हेल्प करता भी है कि नहीं बिजनेस में, एंड कितना टाइम लगा इनको क्रैक करने में?
I think देखो मेरे को CFA करने में 3 साल लगा था.
3 साल में आपने तीनों लेवल कर दिए थे?
हाँ, मतलब नॉर्मली 18 मंथ्स में हो जाता था उस टाइम, बिकॉज आप लेवल 1 साल में 2 बार दे सकते हो एंड लेवल 2 लेवल 3 एक बार ही दे पाते थे. तो आई क्लियर्ड लेवल 1 एंड देन लेवल 2 आई फेल्ड द फर्स्ट टाइम
ओके.
बिकॉज आई फेल्ड द लेवल 2 एंड आई न्यू कि अगर मैं इसको कुछ नहीं करता तो एक साल में मेरे को कुछ याद नहीं रहेगा. आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग FRM.
ओके. FRM में क्या होता है?
FRM is risk management.
ठीक
So
है.
if you think of it from a very third party view kind of a thing, CFA tells you everything about analysis and finance and आपको क्या समझना है, क्या metrics है, उसका मीनिंग क्या होता है. जैसे CA में क्या होता है ना कि वो सिखाते हैं कि अकाउंट्स बनाते कैसे हैं एंड क्या क्या आपको एडजस्टमेंट करना चाहिए, टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट क्या है वगैरह वगैरह. CFA आपको समझाता है कि वो सब तो हो गया, आप उसको समझते कैसे हो,
ठीक है.
तो उसको समझने का रीडिंग का है. FRM is somewhere between which focuses on risk management. जैसे अभी options is the new in thing, everyone's doing options and all that. FRM में we were taught to calculate the option from scratch.
ओके.
तो that kind of helped because I think अगर FRM नहीं किया होता तो मेरा जो आज quants का पूरा मॉडल है उसमें वो 2-3 कंपोनेंट नहीं होता कि मतलब how do you price the odds of something, right?
ओके. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग.
आज अगर मैं सोचते हैं तो स्टॉक मार्केट इज जस्ट प्रोबेबिलिटी बिकॉज अदरवाइज किसी को कुछ नहीं पता है.
सो यू आर सेइंग कि CFA FRM बोथ आर हेल्पिंग यू?
दे आर हेल्पिंग मी. बट अगर आप मेरे से पूछते हो कि अगर किसी को बिजनेस चालू करना है या फाइनेंस करना है तो रिक्वायर्ड क्या है, आई विल से CFA रिक्वायर्ड है बिकॉज सी एट द एंड बिजनेसेस आर मेड ऑन द शॉप फ्लोर बट दे आर बिल्ड इन द बैलेंस शीट, राइट? लाइक it's at some point मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि every business will come down to how nicely you manage the finances.
करेक्ट. 100%.
आप leverage के बारे में सोच लो, आप operations efficiency के बारे में सोच लो. अगर आपको खाली ऑपरेशन समझ में आता है एंड अगर आपको खाली जूनियर इकोनॉमिक्स समझ में आता है तो आप धंधा को बड़ा कर लोगे लेकिन वो फैला नहीं पाओगे. वो एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ आपको नहीं मिलेगा जब तक आपको फाइनेंसेस एंड बैलेंस शीट का समझ है. तो वैसे CFA डेफिनेटली.
ओके. एंड आपने कहा लेवल 2 आपने पहली बार में नहीं क्रैक किया, तो आपने फिर FRM क्लियर कर दिया वो ईयर में?
हाँ.
ओके. एंड देन
उसके फॉलोइंग ईयर लेवल 2 क्लियर किया, फिर FRM क्लियर किया एंड देन CFA क्लियर किया.
ओके. तो एनी टिप्स फॉर फ्यूचर एस्पिरेंट्स CFA और FRM के लिए?
I think I got very complacent because मेरा इशू क्या हो गया था ना was I was hands on in the market throughout. I cleared level 1 on the first shot. तो मेरे को ऐसा लगा था कि level 2 भी हो जाएगा.
ओके.
Which was like a big mistake, but then I never did that mistake again. So having said that, don't be complacent, but I think that's a advice in everything. Like, but otherwise also.
Any other hack that helped you crack the exam?
Oh, I think it's the same crack for all exams. You just solve the past papers, right? Because there's only as many questions as they can come up with.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay. So that was your go-to कि past papers करते रहो and you figured it out.
But इसमें क्या ना मेरे को इंटरेस्ट भी था. जैसे बहुत जन को मैं मिलता हूँ, जो लोग को मैं अगर ये बोलता हूँ ना कि आप पास पेपर्स करो तो वो बोर हो जाते हैं बिकॉज एज आई सेड एक टाइम के बाद में नए क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते हैं एंड वो फिर मतलब इंटरेस्टिंग भी कम लगने लगता है. इट बिकम्स मोनोटोनस. बट क्योंकि मेरा फाइनेंस वाज अ बिग इंटरेस्ट कंपोनेंट, I could do it. I was solving papers through the days.
Okay. Achha, let's quickly talk about registering an AIF.
Yeah.
Right. How long does it take? How costly is it?
So the advantage of an AIF is, I think we just talk about what is an AIF exactly.
Yeah.
So think of a mutual fund, but where the minimum investment is 1 crore. And the regulations are a little bit more convenient to you. So registration of the AIF took us 6 months.
Okay.
The biggest advantage with the AIF is you can outsource everything to the best of the best people, right?
Okay.
Which effectively becomes like whistleblowers.
Okay.
So, for example, in our case, our RTA is KFIN, which is one of the biggest
What is
RTAs.
it? What is RTA?
It's a registrar and transfer agent.
Okay.
जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड में आपको यूनिट्स मिलता है ना,
हाँ.
इसमें भी आपको यूनिट्स ही मिलता है.
ठीक है.
बट इसमें क्या है कि वो यूनिट्स जो अलॉट करते हैं, दे ऑल्सो बिकम काइंड ऑफ लाइक एन अकाउंटिंग कस्टोडियन वेयर दे मेक श्योर कि अगर आप इतना रुपया दिए हो, वो रुपया आपके ही अकाउंट से आया है कि नहीं, और आपको उसके सामने इतना यूनिट्स इसी प्राइस में मिल रहा है कि नहीं.
अच्छा. ओके.
तो ये अगर मैं अपने हाथ में करता हूँ तो बहुत स्कोप है कि मैं कुछ गड़बड़ कर सकता हूँ.
ठीक है.
बट क्योंकि ये पार्टी इन्वॉल्व है तो मतलब देयर गुडविल इज फार बिगर देन माइन, सो देयर इज नो मोटिवेशन फॉर देम टू डू एनीथिंग रॉन्ग विद दैट.
ठीक है.
Our fund accountants and custodians is Nuvama, which is again one of the biggest names in India, right?
Okay.
उनका job is to make sure कि जो अपने money raise किए हैं, वो money is being deployed in things and instruments that we are allowed to do.
Okay.
So that way it is easy to work with, but registering it is like 6 months.
And कितना खर्चा है रजिस्टर करने में?
वो depend करता है on कौन register कर रहा है. जैसे for example, we didn't spend too much money on registering it because we tried to get the best terms and deals. But a lot of times what happens is companies don't care about it, right? So, and even the guys don't care about it, so they can bill you off. I've heard AIF registration costs go anywhere from 60 lakhs to 3-4 crores.
And you spend how much?
60 lakhs. That was the bare minimum.
Okay.
Because see, 20 lakhs is the registration fees you're paying SEBI, right?
हाँ.
And उसके बाद overheads तो जो है हो जाता है.
And ऐसा भी कुछ है ना कि आपको एक certain amount खुद भी डालना होता है टू रन एन एआईएफ.
Sponsor करना होता है.
हाँ.
तो sponsor capital is basically 5% of the corpus.
Okay.
And you have to match it till 100 crores.
Okay.
Sorry, 10 crores is your match up.
Okay.
So 200 crores का corpus size तक वो match करना पड़ता है.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And cost of compliance कितनी होती है annually?
Again, one of those things which depends on
But
how
roughly.
much you want to. See, I think अगर आप सोचते हो ना वैसे तो एवरेज में 10 लाख रुपीज पर टिकट है, राइट? लाइक
Per ticket?
हाँ, लाइक अगर आप सोचते हो तो compliance is 10 lakhs, legal is 10 lakhs, accounting is 10 lakhs, is that. So every function that you put in the thing, it's a 10 lakh rupee.
Annual.
Yeah. अब जैसे हम लोग का क्या है, वैल्यूएशन नहीं है क्योंकि हम लोग का पूरा लिस्टेड इक्विटी है. जितने कोई फंड होते हैं जिन लोग अनलिस्टेड भी लेते हैं, तो उन लोग का वो भी वैल्यूअर से वैल्यू कराना पड़ता है, तो उसका और खर्चा है. तो मतलब just like any other business, it depends on how much you want to spend on it. But the bare minimum is like somewhere around 25 lakhs to 30-40 lakhs a year is your,
Is a bare minimum.
yeah, to run it.
ठीक है. Let's talk a little about how you got your initial investors or customers.
Yeah.
तो पहले कस्टमर की स्टोरी बताओ.
पहला कस्टमर, if you think of it, not in the fund, but at large अगर सोचते हैं तो देखो कोई भी धंधा में मेरे को ऐसा लगता है ना कि पहला कस्टमर घर में ही होता है. ठीक है. एंड दूसरा कस्टमर कोई दोस्त होता है.
हाँ.
और तीसरा कस्टमर कोई दोस्त के घर वाला होता है.
Okay.
ठीक है. सो आई थिंक लाइक सेम थिंग फॉर अस.
Yeah.
जब एडवाइजरी चालू किया था तो इट वाज फैमिली, देन इट वाज फ्रेंड्स, देन वाज फ्रेंड्स इज फैमिली, दोस फैमिली इज फ्रेंड्स. इट्स अ डोमिनो इफेक्ट.
Yeah.
But interesting story with this was throughout the process of building on clients and snowballing with that, the best part of the advisory part is that when you're making somebody wealth, that is very gratifying. And I think having done it at like a young age, the experiences you can, like, because my friend started an SIP with me, not SIP, started investing in my advisory when we were in our 20s. 10 years of that has become something significant, right? And now when we discuss about karna kya hai iska, I mean, obviously I will convince him to get that to the fund because now it's big enough to come to the fund.
Yeah.
But that is very gratifying. और मेरे को ऐसा लगता है ना कि this is something we follow in the investing principle also. मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कोई भी धंधा में अगर आप societal output नहीं है तो it doesn't really qualify as a business. Then it's just like trading. क्योंकि आप what value adding are you doing to the society, right?
So let's think about your first 10-20 investors and tell me what was working, what was not working.
So originally, I think the biggest lesson I learned was to get regulated ASAP, because we've had that couple of times when we helped people, we found people some stocks. And we obviously, मतलब होता क्या ना कि स्टार्टिंग में आपको खाली एक चांस चाहिए होता है. तो अपना कोई ऐसा हार्ड एंड फास्ट पेमेंट शेड्यूल नहीं था, पेमेंट था ही नहीं ऑनेस्टली, वो जस्ट लाइक मेरे को अच्छा लगता है, आप ट्राई कर लो एंड अगर कुछ हो जाएगा तो देख लेते हैं, ठीक है. तो फिर ऑन दैट स्टेप वी रियलाइज लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स क्रेडिट वाज नॉट गिवन. क्योंकि होता क्या था ना कि आप किसी को शेयर लेने बोलते हो, because the process of buying a stock is so easy to replicate, people would just do it and then not give you credit for it. I have had time when a stock has like gone 10x in a year, and we spoke about ki because there was no clear cut profit sharing or anything, you know,
accountability, yeah.
kuch nahi tha, so it was just like a verbal thing. When we spoke about the guy, was like we didn't discuss anything. I'm like, okay, like he's not wrong.
Wow.
So that is when I think that is the first time we realized we had to get us like a advisory registered,
Yeah.
which we did. And उसके बाद होता क्या ना, this is मतलब because आपका core जो first client है ना वो इतना close है आपसे, तो उसको snowball करना बहुत easy होता है. अगर आप ऐसे सोचोगे तो one of my best friends was my first client, my uncle was one of my first clients, and their wealth has kind of snowballed from there. So, and you know, unlike a product, the one thing I miss not having like a tangible product is I cannot ask for feedback. Also, the one thing is, if you think of it, my first few clients, right? I think right now most of our clients are other brokers and other guys who understand finances really, like financial markets really well. But initially, most of our clients are people who didn't honestly care about the markets. So I have had a time when advisory में presentation बनाते थे भेजने के लिए, और भेज के हम लोग पूछते थे कि आप देखे कि नहीं, and people wouldn't see it because they didn't understand it. Like same thing with the product. Like if I was baking cookies,
कोई तो बता देगा अच्छा है,
मेरे को फीडबैक मिलेगा ना कि चीनी कम है, ज्यादा है, जल गया, नहीं हुआ. प्लस ऑल्सो अपना इंडस्ट्री में एक और चीज क्या है ना कि आप सब कुछ सही कर रहे होगे एंड येट आपको कोई फ्रूट नहीं मिलता है बिकॉज ऑफ हाउ द मार्केट्स बिहेव. लाइक राइट नाउ अगर आप सोचते हो तो इन द लास्ट 6-7 मंथ्स अगर आप बेस्ट वैल्यू स्टॉक भी खरीद रहे हो ना, आप कुछ नहीं कमा रहे हो बिकॉज द एवरेज मार्केट सेंटिमेंट इज अगेंस्ट यू. तो वैसे ही होता है, मतलब जब सब कुछ बढ़ रहा होता है तो आप सबसे खराब चीज भी लेते हो तो कमाते हो, जब सब कुछ घट रहा होता है तो सबसे अच्छा चीज भी लेते हो तो भी खोते हो. तो ये सब बिग रीजन व्हाई आई डोंट हैव लाइक अ feedback mechanism with how our first clients were. But I think we are doing something right because they've still stuck on with us.
Right. I want to talk a little about aspiring fund managers.
Okay.
First question is, किसको ये काम करना चाहिए और किसको ये काम नहीं करना चाहिए?
देखो इसका क्या है ना, पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से मैं बताता हूँ, ये एक ऐसा फील्ड है जो आपको तभी करना चाहिए जब आपको पूरा भरोसा है कि आपको इससे एकदम प्यार है.
Okay.
I think finance is a very ungrateful bride.
Ungrateful bride.
Yeah, because you have to marry it.
Okay.
Unless you marry finance, you won't do good in it. And B, you will not be rewarded for the first couple of years. ठीक है, तो
ये आपने okay.
And it's true, क्योंकि होता क्या है ना, मतलब I give you my example. जब मैं चालू किया था तो I was doing nothing. Like I was just
बहुत आपको मैरिज के एक्सपीरियंस है. You have to marry and
No,
you
you know,
rewarded.
I'll tell you why I say that. It's because for the longest time I've heard people say that, you know, I'm married to this stock, I'm married to that, don't marry a stock. It's just been one of those things which I wanted to, you know, change in my way. And I'm like, this is a bad bride. Like, it's ungrateful. And you can't quit on it. Because होता क्या है ना कि अगर आप सोचो, अगर मेरा एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं एज एन इन्वेस्टर, राइट, पहला बात तो क्या है कि आपको 3 साल पहले कुछ नहीं मिलेगा.
क्यों?
अज्यूमिंग अगर आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, आपका बिगर गेन तो 3 साल के बाद ही आएगा. अनलेस यू आर वेरी लकी, आप कुछ लिए और 20x हो गया. अज्यूम करो कि आप जो चीज लिए 20x हो गया 1 साल में, तो आप कितना ही लियोगे. लाइक द रीजन व्हाई माय फर्स्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट actually became fruitful was because I could acquire it over 2 years or 3 years, right? Of pocket money saving. तो आपको एक तो क्या है कि बड़ा पाई डालने का चांस नहीं मिलता है. अगर जल्दी बढ़ गया तो आप सिग्निफिकेंट डाले नहीं होगे. अगर स्लो बढ़ता है तो लगता है कि क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहा है. तो ये सब चीज को देखते हो ना, पहला तो ये है. दूसरा ये है ना कि इन्वेस्टिंग फाइनेंस ऐसा चीज है जहाँ पे लर्निंग कर्व बहुत स्लो है. अगर आप कोई फैक्ट्री बैठा रहे हो तो एक सेट प्रिंसिपल्स है, रूल्स है. कंसल्टेंट्स हो गए आज के दिन में, आप जो फोन करते हो उन लोग आते हैं, दे सेट अप द एंटायर स्टैक,
5-6 महीने में सब बता देंगे आपको.
करेक्ट. और वो फैक्ट्री चलेगी. विद इन्वेस्टिंग क्या होता है ना कि आपको रोज सीखना है. आप एक स्टॉक लेते हो, उसमें कुछ गलत होता है, अगर आप नहीं सीख पाते हो उससे तो फिर आप वो मिस्टेक्स फिर से करते हो. तो एंड वो पता नहीं कब तक चलेगा. इट कुड रन फॉर 6-7-10 years. अभी क्या हो गया ना, इन द लास्ट 5 years ऐसा हो गया where people have lost a thought of a poor market. अगर आप सोचते हो तो the small cap CAGR of small cap investing is like 13-14%. Okay. Or maybe 18-17% if it was a good fund. But if you take the funds that don't exist, if you account for the data mining biases and survivorship biases, it's 13-14%. Because every decade or such, you have 2 to 3 years where small cap makes 40% CAGR or like 35% CAGR, okay? And then it flatlines for the next few years, where people lose interest in the markets. So now to be in the market when everybody around you has thrown in the towel, okay? It can only happen when you're married to it.
Yeah. And you really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're okay with it being ungrateful.
So you're saying anyone who truly doesn't love finance should never do it?
No.
Okay.
And I think the biggest test is this. The biggest test of if you love finance is if you're okay with a bad market.
Okay.
और ये मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ because अभी recently मैं बताता हूँ in the last 2-3 months, I have gotten in touch with so many aspiring fund managers who 1 year ago were committed to finance as their career choice. Okay?
Acha.
And today they're looking for anything but finance. Because A, they've lost a lot of money. The problem with this again is from the bride aspect, I mean from ungrateful thing, is अगर आप कोई नॉर्मल बिजनेस बैठाते हो ना जहाँ पे आपका धंधा चल रहा है और आप ग्रोथ दिखा रहे हो तो आपको पता है कि वो ग्रोथ एट्रीब्यूटेबल टू योर स्किल है. यहाँ पे वो नहीं है. सो यू कुड बी मेकिंग
Great decisions.
great
But
no,
दिख नहीं रहा.
you could be making the worst decisions but making great money for 3 years to lose everything and some more change in the 4th year, which is the only time you'll know that you made a mistake, and vice versa. So this conviction, think about it, if you're doing something, everything is against you at this point, okay? To actually just continue doing that needs passion, commitment and experience.
Yeah.
एंड मैं अभी इतना चिल होके बोल रहा हूँ ना, जब फर्स्ट टाइम मेरे साथ हुआ था, आई थिंक 2017 was the first bear market we saw. Right after Modi came to power, right? There were stocks back then which I thought were great companies that don't exist today.
Okay.
And that was a big shock because वही होता है ना कि ना बुल मार्केट तो लगता है कि जो भी ले लो जाएगा तो ऊपर ही. तो फिर वो सब को go through करना, knowing that you have to still polish your game, that also is humility. Because I think the biggest thing I've noticed with people like juniors in the industry or the ones who interacted with me is it's very difficult to say that you made a wrong decision. Like
they're not open to accepting it.
No, because abhi ek din se mera baat hua tha, I'm giving you a very real example 2 weeks ago, who bought some stock which was 500, which is now 300, okay? And a lot has changed, of course. No, it was 500, which is now 150. A lot has changed, but for him, it's a great stock to buy, okay? And it might just be, but unless you've revisited your thesis, you can't be sure. And that is something which haunts you because hota kya na, people also, us have the tendency to run away from wrong decisions. It's very easy to lock it and be like, हाँ ठीक है, वो तो
हो गया.
हाँ, अगर बाजार ऊपर जाएगा तो वो फिर आ जाएगा. पर अगर आप उससे कुछ सीखते नहीं हो तो वो एक मिस्टेक वेस्ट हो गया ना. तो ये सब आपको चाहिए, मतलब you need them.
Very interesting. Okay, 2 things about the industry, apart from whatever you just shared, that every aspiring fund manager should know.
2 things about the industry. I think one thing of the one big stat that kind of changed the way I saw stocks was, if you say that anything which multiplies 10x in 10 years is a multi-bagger, to do that, you only need 23% CAGR. Which initially I thought कि बहुत ज़्यादा होगा because अब 10 साल में 10 अगर कर रहे हो, आपके पास आज 100 है, तो 10 साल में वो 1000 हो जाता है, 20 साल में वो 10,000 होता है, 30 साल में वो लाख होता है, 40 साल में वो 10 लाख होता है, 50 में 1 करोड़. If I'm 30 by 80, 100 रुपए का 1 करोड़ हो जाएगा. That's insane.
Yeah.
And वो करने के लिए मेरे को खाली 25% क्या कर चाहिए, 23 से 25%, that's it. मेरे को 30-40% नहीं चाहिए. That's one. Second, which changed my thing was, having said this, what percentage of companies do you think actually deliver this return?
10x return in 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2% companies.
It's 50% companies, okay?
50% companies.
Assuming that India has recorded financial data of 4 decades now, like 3 decades, 1995 till now, right? If the company survives a decade, there is a 50% chance it will go 10x.
सो अगर कोई कंपनी 10 साल से ज्यादा एग्जिस्ट कर रही है आज के टाइम में,
हाँ.
और मैं उसमें पैसे डाल दूं,
हाँ.
देयर इज अ 50% चांस कि वो 10 साल बाद 10x कर चुकी होगी.
नहीं, अगर कोई भी कंपनी आज सर्वाइव कर रही है
हाँ.
और अगर आप उसमें 10 साल पहले पैसे डालते
हाँ.
तो 50% चांस है कि वो आज 10 गुना हो गया होता.
ओके ओके
हम लोग हिस्टोरिक का बात कर रहे हैं ना.
ओके ओके.
अब आगे हुआ कि नहीं मेरे को नहीं पता.
हाँ.
पर मैं ये बोला मांग रहा हूँ कि अगर आप सोचते हो उसके बारे में, तो अभी अगर ऐसा होता, अगर ये स्टैटिस्टिक इतना कॉमन है और ये होता था, तो ऐसे बहुत जन होने चाहिए थे जो यहाँ पे फैबुलस रिटर्न्स जनरेट किए होंगे.
हाँ, तो क्यों नहीं किया उन्होंने?
एग्जैक्टली, बिकॉज दिस इज सो बेसिक, इट्स बोरिंग.
तो लोगों को बस चाहिए कि हम कुछ ना कुछ घुमाते रहे, एज अपोज टू कि डाल के छोड़ दो.
हाँ, और ये क्या होता है ना, आप सोचो ना, मतलब लोग कैसीनो में जाते हैं
हम्म.
और पोकर प्लेयर्स प्रोफेशनल भी होते हैं.
हम्म.
ठीक है, यही डिफरेंस है. प्रोफेशनल पोकर प्लेयर्स didn't become professionals overnight, but people who go to the casino go knowing that they will lose money there,
Yeah.
and that's the kick. तो वही है, मतलब मेरे को आज ये समझ में नहीं आता है कि अगर कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में सोच रहा है, देखो 10 साल पहले ETFs नहीं थे. ठीक है,
What's an ETF?
it's an equity traded fund, so it's basically a mutual fund which is traded on the markets. जैसे अभी अगर आप एक म्यूचुअल फंड लेते हो तो म्यूचुअल फंड की रिडेम्पशन और सब्सक्रिप्शन takes time. It takes like 1 day to 2 hours of the process, right? An ETF is on the market. You can buy it like any other stock. You can sell it like any other stock.
Okay.
The price is transparent on a tick by tick basis. Mutual fund prices come at end of day. So there's a lag, okay? But
So you are saying people should do ETFs instead of mutual funds?
it's the same thing.
It's the same
They
thing.
should invest in the index.
Okay.
देखो होता क्या है ना कि आज से 20-30 साल, मतलब आज से 15 साल पहले index investing wasn't very common. Which is fair because the mutual fund guys have to make their money, right? Index don't have too much income ratios, expense ratios. Income ratios because I'm on this other table, right? But then, having said that, if you think of it, 1.5 साल पहले small cap ETF launch हुआ था इंडिया में. 1.5 साल पहले तक small cap का ETF नहीं था.
अच्छा.
और मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ 5 साल बाद very few fund managers would have actually outperformed the small cap ETF. And think of it, they are investing in like 150 companies. 150 कंपनी में मैं और आप इंडिविजुअली कर नहीं सकते इन्वेस्ट. आपका कॉर्पस उतना बड़ा नहीं होगा डिविजिबिलिटी के हिसाब से.
हाँ. सबको एक करेक्ट एलोकेशन देने के लिए.
हाँ, और दूसरा, अगर आप वो कर भी लेते हो तो उसको ट्रांजैक्ट करना इम्पॉसिबल होगा, क्योंकि अगर आप उसमें से कुछ भी निकालते हो तो द एंटायर एलोकेशन चेंजेस.
So why do we need more fund managers as opposed to everyone just putting it in an ETF?
I think fund managers you need so that these things like ETFs keep coming up, right?
Okay.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि मैं जो कर रहा हूँ काफ़ी यूनिक है और इनोवेटिव है. आई थिंक अगर सब लोग ETF में इन्वेस्ट करने लग जाएंगे तो मोर पीपल इन द इंडस्ट्री विल वांट टू डू समथिंग मोर यूनिक. अगर आप सोचते हो इसके बारे में, टेक्नोलॉजी का इंसेप्शन was only to make things efficient.
Yeah.
If everyone was doing the same farming, then nothing would have changed, right? So वही है. But again, to my point, even today, if you think of fund managers at large, a lot of fund managers, by being there, 85% of the entire market, if you think of AUM, is with the top 3 funds. तो मतलब just because बहुत fund managers हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि उनके पास में बहुत बड़ा piece of the pie भी है.
Okay.
But that's with every business, right? मतलब every business has a lot of participants, but the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule plays out.
थोड़ा पर्सनल फाइनेंस की बात करते हैं, बिकॉज आई वांट कि जो भी लोग देखेंगे उनको थोड़ा आइडिया लगे, राइट? सबका ये मानना है कि स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करना बहुत हाई रिस्क होता है. एक्चुअली में स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करना हाई रिस्क होता है क्या?
देखो, मेरा सब कुछ स्टॉक्स में. Like I think I've been 100% invested in stocks for the last 3 years. Ever since I got the confidence on the model that we've built. मतलब मेरे को 10 साल लगा उस मॉडल को बना करके, बैक टेस्ट करके, टू बी श्योर कि अब इसमें बड़ा घाटा नहीं होगा. बिकॉज यू नो, द बिगेस्ट इशू विद कोई भी धंधा में सबसे बड़ा इशू क्या होता है कि ये समझना होता है कि डाउन साइड क्या है. क्योंकि अगर सब कुछ ठीक रहेगा तो ऊपर तो आसमान खुला है. हाँ, लेकिन नीचे कहाँ जा सकते हो वो समझना बहुत जरूरी होता है. तो ever since then I am fully invested in stocks, right? Having said that, is stocks risky? अब मेरा क्वेश्चन का आंसर ये, मतलब मेरा, टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन विद अ क्वेश्चन, आर बॉन्ड्स रिस्की?
I don't think so because वो तो guaranteed return देते हैं.
Correct. But there are bond funds that have failed. Think of a Yes Bank which almost went under. Okay. मेरा ऐसा thought रहा है which is probably very it might not be the best to agree on. I personally think a debt-free company is far lesser risk as compared to a debt instrument like a bond. Okay. Because in principle, a bond is a promise to pay you back. That promise can anytime not exist.
No, it's not a legal binding, it's just a promise.
It is a legal binding. Like the bond is issued to you, it's a legal binding paper, and the company has to abide by it. But companies go bankrupt all the time, which is why people think equity is risky.
Okay.
But if you buy a stock which is of a company which is zero debt, it can't default. Okay. The second issue here is how you define risk. तो जैसे अगर आप सोचते हो, I think I'm in a position to answer this question because I have the FRM certificate to that. Risk is defined as volatility, which is where we all go wrong. Okay. अगर आप सोचते हो stocks risky क्यों है? By logic, stocks are risky when you're margined or leveraged against it, right? तो बेसिकली क्या होता है कि अगर आप 100 रुपए का स्टॉक देके 1000 रुपए का पोजीशन ले रहे हो,
Okay.
तो वो स्टॉक अगर 10% घटता है या आपका 1000 रुपए का पोजीशन
आपका तो 100 रुपए गया पूरा.
एग्जैक्टली, तो आप 1000 खोते हो
हाँ.
क्योंकि आपका पूरा एक्सपोजर हिट हो रहा है.
हाँ.
आपका टोटल लॉस तो 100 रुपए होगा जो स्टॉक का है,
हाँ.
बट एक्चुअली बिकॉज ऑफ द लेवरेज इट मैग्निफाइज, राइट? नाउ इफ यू एज एन इन्वेस्टर डिफाइन रिस्क एज लॉस, मैं बोलता हूँ कि मेरे लिए रिस्क इज प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एन एंटायर लॉस,
Okay.
which can only happen if a company goes bankrupt. ठीक है. अब कंपनी bankrupt कब होती है? If you think of it, there is absolutely one reason why any company ever goes bankrupt is due to not being able to pay off their debts.
Okay. या फिर they do something unethical also, right?
Right. I mean, even if they do something unethical, it will always be because they weren't able to pay off their debts.
Okay.
अगर आप सोचते हो तो there are a lot of companies which were run by, think of Kingfisher. They were doing a lot of unethical things. Let's not go into what they were doing. But when the top management skipped, it got acquired by an even bigger company. Or for that matter, Satyam. Satyam went under. Satyam almost went bust, right? Satyam got taken over by Mahindra, became Tech Mahindra. The original investors of Satyam who had held it through have made more money than we can imagine. It didn't go bankrupt. Because any company with zero debt could go into a bad management issue, it could go into legal issues. But if it is debt free, it will find a suitor who will make it better than ever.
Okay.
Because see, at the end, the cost to rebuild an entire company is always higher than acquiring one which is cheaper with similar traits.
Correct. Yeah.
The problem is always the debt. Now you're saying it is lesser risk to just buy the one component which makes the company risky. To me, it makes no sense. अगर आप इसको सोचते हो तो अपने इसलिए बोलते हैं कंपनी रिस्की है क्योंकि कंपनी बैंकरप्ट हो सकती है. कंपनी बैंकरप्ट तब होती है जब वो डेट पे नहीं कर पाती है. अगर आप बोलते हो कि डेट इज व्हाट मेक्स द कंपनी रिस्की, हाउ इज बाइंग दैट डेट फ्रॉम द कंपनी लेसर रिस्क?
Very interesting.
बट सी दिस इज वेयर द प्रॉब्लम लाइज इन हाउ यू डिफाइन रिस्क.
बट एक रिटेल इन्वेस्टर के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचते हैं, राइट? उनके लिए आपका क्या कहना है? स्टॉक्स उनके लिए रिस्की है कि नहीं है?
उनको अब देखो वही है ना कि अब अपने ये मानते हैं कि उनको नहीं पता है कि डेट कैसे देखते हैं कंपनी.
हाँ, ये भी मानते हैं कि उनको नहीं पता कैसे कौन से स्टॉक में डालना है. बहुत ही बेसिक नॉलेज है फाइनेंस की कि अच्छा ठीक है मैं कोई ऐप पे जाके पैसे डाल सकता हूँ बस.
हाँ, तो उनको खाली इंडेक्स फंड लेना चाहिए.
ओके.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है ना कि एक बहुत बड़ा मिसकम्युनिकेशन है विद what the preachers of modern finance do with the retail crowd, right? ऐसा लगता है रिटेल को कि अगर उनको पैसे कमाने हैं, बड़े पैसे कमाने हैं, उनको या तो ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग करना होगा या उनको कोई एक दो कंपनी में मल्टी फोल्ड रुपया कमाना होगा. एंड उस चक्कर में क्या है ना, उनका हाथ चल जाता है. बट उनका फोकस होना चाहिए कॉर्पस बिल्ड करने में. कॉर्पस बिल्ड तभी होगा जब आप 2, 10, 15, 20% ऑफ वॉट एवर सेविंग को एक इंडेक्स फंड में डाल रहे हो. इन दिस प्रोसेस क्या होता है ना कि वाई इंडेक्स फंड्स इसीलिए बिकॉज अगर आप सोचते हो तो निफ्टी का इंडेक्स फंड है. निफ्टी के इंडेक्स फंड में येस बैंक था 5 साल पहले, और आज येस बैंक का प्राइस इज अ फ्रैक्शन ऑफ व्हाट इट वाज. ओके, बट निफ्टी इज डबल. हैड
उसने वो लॉस भी मैनेज कर लिया.
करेक्ट. और वो ऐसे होता है ना कि निफ्टी इज अ मोमेंटम इंडेक्स. निफ्टी ऐसी चीज है जो बोलती है कि टॉप 50 कंपनीज ऑफ इंडिया एट एनी टाइम विल बी इन द पोर्टफोलियो.
तो जैसे ही कोई मूव आउट करेगा वो चेंज हो जाएगा पोर्टफोलियो उनका.
करेक्ट. अगर आप सोचते हो तो आज से 20 साल पहले निफ्टी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स वर मोर हार्ड एसेट कंपनीज, राइट? यू हैड टाटा स्टील एंड लाइक ऑल दीज बिग रियल कंपनीज, राइट? आई मीन रियल एसेट कंपनीज. उसके बाद इट स्विच्ड फ्रॉम दैट टू मोर फाइनेंस हेवी कंपनीज. And in the process, IT became a big component. Like today, TCS, Infosys, and all is a very big component of the Nifty. And now, as we are going towards more new age companies, you are seeing Zomato come into Nifty. तो अगर आपको कुछ नहीं आता है मार्केट के बारे में, आप खाली निफ्टी लो ना. आप एक कॉर्पस बनाओ. And once that corpus is built, then you start looking for professional help, which is where we come in. Or like, any big fund manager or any big fund will tell you what to do next. But the first step is that.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
नहीं, I was going to ask कि we were talking about why our parents don't have faith in the stock market, right? जो older generation है, उनको stock market में belief ही नहीं आता. Why do you think that is?
देखो इसमें क्या होता है ना, एक एंकरिंग बायस है. ठीक है, अगर आप सोचते हो तो जो भी आदमी 2020 में मार्केट में आया है, उसके लिए मार्केट हमेशा ऊपर जाती है. ठीक है, बिकॉज अगर आप सोचते हो तो 5 साल में कोई कंपनी फेल नहीं हुआ है. Vodafone is the only one which is almost going under and the government is making sure it does not. So this has changed. 4 decades ago, stock market was just scams. The regulatory environment didn't exist. Corporate governance पे भरोसा नहीं था किसी को. Balance sheets would come once a year. तो our parents' generation, all they've seen is हर्षद मेहता का scam हो गया, .com bubble. Then you had the .com bubble, Ketan Parekh, 2007. And all these things, right? So you're mentally rewired to be scared of it. Plus, also for the longest time, people have just chosen to make sure that financial education didn't exist. ये सब mediums नहीं थे. Information was only through news channels, which made sure they panicked you all the time.
Yeah.
Like अगर आप सोचते हो तो that's a big thing which has changed in the last 5-6 years, right?
And I think that's why this generation is more pro investing.
I think I got very lucky to start investing in 2010 because I saw the market go out of a bad cycle to a very good cycle when Modi was about to become prime minister, when everything was euphoric. In 2014, people thought every PSU would go multi-bagging, right? Which eventually happened 10 years later, like the last 2 years, right? Yeah. And then we saw a massive correction, which was one of my first big corrections, right? Because small cap stocks in that, as I said, don't exist today. Like there are stocks which were, I remember, I think Inox Wind went from 200 to like 12 or 13-14 rupees. And now it's again like, now it's a different company altogether. But back then it was a different company, right? So वो सब देखने का chance मिला मेरे को. I think I'm very blessed to be in that generation or like that decade. The problem with people now is they're over bullish. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा भी अच्छा नहीं होता है. मतलब अगर अपने कंपेयर करें तो पापा लोग का जनरेशन बहुत ज़्यादा स्कैर्ड था या स्केप्टिकल था कि मार्केट में रिस्क होता है, यहाँ पे सब स्केप्टिक है. हाँ, लाइक आपको पता नहीं है कि एक्चुअली आप कंपनी खरीद रहे हो कि पेपर है. लेकिन आज के दिन में वो करना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. मतलब आज अगर आप कोई भी कंपनी कुछ भी अपने बैलेंस शीट में डाल रही है, 99.9% चांसेस है कि वो गलत नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज ऑफ हाउ स्ट्रॉन्ग द कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस हैज बिकम टुडे. प्लस यू रिपोर्टिंग 4 times a year.
कितना ही आप कर लोगे
आप, मतलब इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. एंड ऑल्सो क्या हो गया ना कि द वे GST and all has come in, GST and TDS and everything, almost every transaction that you're doing with another company, it's very difficult to have have fudge anything. आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते हो.
अच्छा, लेट्स इमेजिन कि जो हमारी ऑडियंस देख रही है उसमें देयर इज वन सेक्शन जो 20,000 अ मंथ कमाती है, एक और सेक्शन है जो 50,000, एक और सेक्शन 1 लाख, एंड लेट्स अज्यूम एक है कि 5-10 लाख कमाते हैं. इनको कैसे अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी प्लान करनी चाहिए? पहले 20,000 पर मंथ से शुरू करते हैं.
देखो जो 20,000 पर मंथ कमाता है ना, आई थिंक वेयर पीपल मिस्टेक इट इज व्हेन, आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस. व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड जॉब्स, राइट, आउट ऑफ कॉलेज हम लोग सब 5-10 दोस्त लोग थे. आई ऑब्वियसली टोल्ड एवरीवन टू स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग. द फ्यू ऑफ अस हु वर डूइंग बिजनेसेस स्टार्टेड इन्वेस्टिंग. बट जो बाकी दोस्त थे ना जो जॉब में चले गए, उनका था कि यार अभी तो अपने 15-20 हज़ार ही कमाते हैं, उसमें क्या ही इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. और फिर हुआ क्या ना कि वो 15-20 या 50,000 हुआ तो फिर शादी वादी होने का टाइम आ गया. तो उस टाइम ये था कि यार अब एडेड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, अब क्या ही इन्वेस्ट करेंगे. फिर जब वो अभी 1.5-2 लाख रुपए हो गया ना, तो अभी भी वही है और इन्वेस्टमेंट का माइंडसेट ही नहीं आया. तो देखा जाए तो 10 साल ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग देव लॉस्ट. तो होता क्या ना कि आप अगर सोचते हो तो कोई भी अचानक से 2 लाख रुपया महीना कमाना चालू नहीं करता है. इट्स अ जर्नी. तो माई सजेशन टू एवरीवन इज कि आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट शुड बी योर फर्स्ट एक्सपेंस. Think of it like your phone bill payment, right? Think of it as something which you have to monetarily do. And मतलब अगर आप 20,000 कमाते हो तो 10% इन्वेस्ट करो.
2,000 रुपये महीना इन्वेस्ट करो.
हाँ, अगर आप 50,000 कमाते हो तो 20% करो. और आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट हैज टू, देखो प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है ना, आई हैव नोटिस्ड दिस विद ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स, एज आई थिंक आई कीप टेकिंग देम एज एन एग्जांपल बिकॉज़ that's very relatable. People start investing when they start young, start with debt. I've seen most of my friends have RDs and FDs but rarely do equities, right? Because उनको तो 20,000 कमाया उसमें 5,000 इन्वेस्ट किया वो खो दिया तो. लेकिन थॉट ऐसा होना चाहिए कि जब आप कम कमा रहे हो आप अग्रेसिव हो सकते हो.
ओके.
क्योंकि आपका जो नेक्स्ट स्टेप अप होगा ना इन द सैलरी, इट विल प्रोबेबली बी इक्विवेलेंट टू व्हाट यू लूज टुडे इवन इफ यू डिड. प्रोबेबली यू वोंट,
क्योंकि इंडेक्स फंड में डालेंगे तो वेरी हाई चांस कि कुछ नहीं होगा.
हाँ. और अगर आपने सोचते हो ना, जैसे अगर आप सोचते हो कि व्हेन कैन एन इंडेक्स फंड गो रॉन्ग, logically it's rare maths to do because let's think, okay, assume करते हैं the entire economy goes for toss. If that does happen, inflation will go up like crazy. If inflation goes up like crazy, the only way to retain store of value is either gold or silver or equities. Debt में तो आपका लॉस है ना, because वो तो आपको 4% देगा, and आपका 4% जो एक साल पहले वैल्यू था आज उसका हाफ है. तो there is no real way of saving your value if it's not in equities.
तो चाहे वो 20,000 कमा रहे हो या 50,000 कमा रहे हो, 1 लाख कमा रहे हो, यू आर जस्ट सेइंग कि थोड़ा सा इन्वेस्टमेंट शुरू करो.
हाँ. और
क्या उनकी इन्वेस्टमेंट जर्नी अलग दिखेगी?
मैं वही आ रहा था. एंड मेरा थॉट ऐसा है ना कि आई थिंक इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ व्हाट यू मेक, पहला चीज़ तो क्या होना चाहिए कि खर्चा फिक्स होता है. एट द एंड अगर आप सोचते हो ना, जो 20,000 कमा रहा है, जो 1 लाख कमा रहा है, उन लोग खाते सेम ही चीज़ है. तो खर्चा को फिक्स करना बहुत ईजी होता है. एंड इट इज़ अ लॉट ईजियर टू इन्वेस्ट एवरीथिंग आफ्टर एक्सपेंसेस दैन टू इन्वेस्ट फर्स्ट एंड एक्सपेंस एवरीथिंग. क्योंकि अगर वैसे करते हो, सोचो अगर आप 20,000 कमा रहे हो, बोलते हो 10,000 में सेव करूंगा, इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ और 10 में स्पेंड करता हूँ. जैसे अभी कमाई 50 होगी ना, आप 10 ही इन्वेस्ट करोगे और 40 स्पेंड करोगे. It's very easy to want to up your
expenses.
Yeah, because again your peer pressure changes, your peers change, right? जब आप 10,000 20,000 कमा रहे थे उस टाइम में आपका peer जो था वो आपके साथ मेट्रो में आता था. जब 50,000 कमाते हो तो आप सबके पास में बाइक है, तो आपको भी एक लेने का होता है. The idea which people miss out is if you think of 20 years of a job journey where you're investing everything apart from your basic cost or fixed cost or whatever necessarily required, right? I'm not saying don't take a vacation and go buy Mahindra Holiday shares, right? I'm saying do everything that you want to do. Just curtail it to a point and invest everything else. और होता क्या ना कि अगर आप ये करते हो for 2-3 साल और 2-3 साल बाद if you see the magic of compounding, you won't feel like spending. Yeah. And that is where it snowballs.
So let's talk about कि how much money do people need at 35 to live a luxurious life from that point on?
See, I think if you think of it, I think at any point I'm very blessed to be in India because India still has real interest rates. अगर आप सोचते हो तो in most cases जो FD या bond में interest rate मिलता है ना, वो inflation से नीचे होता है. यहाँ पे ऊपर है. तो even in a bond you're actually making value of like real value, right? I would, देखो आज के दिन में I think if you have 1 or 2 crores in a fixed deposit, right? You are good to go because a 2 crore fixed deposit means you'll make somewhere around 12 lakhs. If you're a single individual person who's making 1 lakh a month in interest, you can't spend that. Again, this is under the assumption that you have a house paid for. Otherwise, lakh रुपया तो rent हो जाएगा depending on where you stay. अगर खाली आपको अपने luxurious lifestyle पे रहना है तो लाख रुपया महीना. And if you think of it, if you want to make it even more aggressive, then you invest everything that you save of that 1 lakh into funds, like into the index funds. You're sorted. And if you're like a full house, I think irrespective of age, if you're a full house, you need a 10 crore FD to retire.
10 crore FD.
If you think of a 10 crore FD, at 10 crores FD, you're making somewhere around 60-70 lakhs a year. Bare minimum, right? Which is 5 lakh rupees a month. Again, you can't spend that.
Yeah.
Unless you want to. Like, I'm also assuming if you're looking at a retirement bare minimum, you will cut down your costs.
Sure. हाँ मतलब you will be smart about it. Yeah. But यहाँ पे एक SWP का भी concept है, right? कि आपके पास 10 crores हैं टू रिटायर, वुड यू पुट दैट इन एन एफडी और वुड यू से कि ईटीएफ में डालते हैं और उसमें एक एसडब्ल्यूपी सेटअप कर देते हैं?
आप दोनों कर सकते हो, लेकिन ethically I will never recommend anyone having 100% in equities unless they control the thing, because liquidity you require. So probably a 90-10 or 80-20 or like 70-30 or whatever of that sort has to be there. But again, SWP I'm not a big fan of.
Okay, why? Very
I think-
surprising you saying.
No, I think that withdrawal should be in your control. As soon as you do an SWP, you would want to spend all of it comes out.
Okay.
That makes sense. Like say you have a 10 crore
हाँ.
parked, right? And you do like a 5 lakh SWP. You will spend that 5 lakh rupees every month.
क्योंकि आपने विड्रॉ कर लिया.
हाँ. क्योंकि आपके मोटिवेशन है नहीं ना वापस डालने का.
हाँ.
बट अगर आप उल्टा करते हो, आप सोचो कि आपके 10 करोड़ इंडेक्स फंड्स में ही है. आपको जितना चाहिए उतना निकालो ना. Or like the best way out is you use credit cards. You use credit cards to make all your expenses. That way you know that all of your expenses are being logged, right? Credit cards mein you can't transfer money to a friend, or like you can't transfer money to the random guy who comes knocking or anything. And if you think of it today, every credit card has its own way of you can budget for it. Like Vistara has its own credit card, Flipkart has its own credit card. So you could have credit cards designated to what spends you want to do, limiting your costs, bucketing for it. And end of the month, sell your stock, pay the credit card bills, you sorted. Your banks are need, your CA will thank me for that.
कि इन्होंने हर चीज के लिए अलग कार्ड बना दिया.
और कोई झमेला भी नहीं है. मतलब अगर थिंक ऑफ इट, ऑप्टिमल फाइनेंस तो यही है ना कि अगर आप सब फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट को अपने फेवर में यूज कर रहे हो. वेयर पीपल गो रॉन्ग इज दे इन्वेस्ट ऑल देयर लाइफ सेविंग्स इन एफडीज व्हिच डोंट ग्रो एज मच एज देयर खर्चा ग्रोज, राइट? They spend on credit card because they want to do that when they don't have money. And होता क्या ना कि by the time you reach 35, 40, 50, जब आपकी उम्र आती है to take a step back, you realize you've made a mess of yourself. Your entire finances are a mess. The standard of living that you were paying for because of a high paycheck, you can no longer sustain because you don't have savings. All of your savings have gone away in inflation in the FD. You have wrong insurance products that you've bought. Your credit card bills are mounting. It's the absolute end. And if you just flip it, right? If you flip all of these things to make it pro you use your cards to make sure your expenses are accounted for. You can set your own limits. If you want to make sure कि आप एक महीने 50,000 से ऊपर खर्चा नहीं करते हो तो उसमें एक लिमिट लगा दो 50,000 का. उससे ऊपर खर्चा होगा ही नहीं. You can put all your investments in equities or like equities and gold, or like please contact your financial advisor before all of that. But like once you've done that and you're connected these things, you're sorted, you're good to go. You will beat inflation. Your expenses are always in your control. And you get a 30-day like a credit period, right? Because you're paying for a credit card after the bill comes just 30 days later.
Yeah. So let's also talk about gold and silver. Hot topics today, right? Should people invest in gold or silver today?
So in the advisory that we ran, right? By principle, we always had 10% in silver.
Acha, in silver, not gold.
Not gold. Why? Because I think the average Indian household has enough gold.
Okay.
And there is a weird perception around selling gold.
कि बेचना ही नहीं है.
हाँ.
कि नेगेटिव है बेचना.
हाँ, मतलब गोल्ड बेचने से मतलब बहुत जन को ऐसा लगता है ना कि श्री जाती है और मतलब बहुत कुछ है.
हाँ.
ठीक है, तो गोल्ड आई डोंट गेट इनटू. सिल्वर ऑन द अदर हैंड इज ऑलवेज ऑन अ डिस्काउंट.
अच्छा.
अगर आप वैसे अभी नहीं है, पहले होता था. अभी सिल्वर इज ऑन अ प्रीमियम लाइक पर से. होता क्या ना कि कुछ भी अगर उल्टा फुल्टा होता है तो गोल्ड रशेस टू अ प्रीमियम बिकॉज फ्लाइट टू सेफ्टी हैपेंस एंड सिल्वर ड्रिफ्ट्स अपवर्ड. ओके. ए सेकंड, सिल्वर हैज इंडस्ट्रियल यूज, गोल्ड रेयरली हैज. अब गोल्ड का बहुत कम हो गया, पहले होता था. तो वी यूज्ड टू वैसे लाइक सिल्वर. प्लस सिल्वर को क्या है ना, अगर अपने I can't buy 100 keys of silver in physical, but I can buy 100 keys of silver on like the derivative market or like on the markets. Because it's easier to do like that. That's why we always prefer silver. So that's why we always had silver. About right now, I think gold and silver should always make a part of your portfolio.
Achha.
I don't think you should buy them right now. But like, I mean, you should buy them right now, but not like 50%. It should still be 10% only.
Okay.
Just because वो बढ़ रहा है तो ले लेते हैं, नहीं करना चाहिए.
अच्छा.
वो 10% ही होना चाहिए और अगर घटता भी है वो 10% ही होना चाहिए.
ओके. तो अगर घट गया है तो थोड़ा बढ़ा दो इन्वेस्टमेंट ताकि 10% हो जाए.
करेक्ट.
और अगर बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया तो बेच दो. अच्छा.
इसको 10% पे रखो.
ओके.
लेकिन इसको रोज रोज नहीं करना. मतलब जैसे आई यूज्ड टू डू इट अ क्वार्टर बेसिस, राइट? तो एवरी क्वार्टर अपने इसको एडजस्ट करते थे. और वो chill था, मतलब it worked really well for us. And the idea why at 10% all that is, see, at the end this is also inflation hedge. अगर अपने स्कूल का क्लास 5-6 का इकोनॉमिक्स क्लास में जाते हैं, like 8-9 सॉरी 5-6 में तो नहीं होगा, you know, we had that example of अगर आप 5 साल पहले 100 रुपये में 2 एप्पल खरीद सकते थे और आज 100 रुपये में 1 एप्पल खरीद सकते हो, तो what has changed?
हाँ.
Right? If you think of it, that 1 apple was gold. Gold is the only financial or like a material or a mineral basically which has been a part of finance across sands of time. It's been there centuries ago, right? If you think of it, when people say in 1900 mein you could buy gold for 1 rupee and today you cannot buy that much gold, or you can buy like a fraction of that, what's changed is that 1 rupee means that much lesser today.
And that's probably because इतना गोल्ड हमने निकाल लिया है कि उसकी सप्लाई कम हो रही है, करेक्ट?
वो हो सकता है, but it's also because of inflation. We can't deny the fact that your currency has, like, you know, like, we can't deny the fact that the currency across the world has lost value over the years, which is fair. That's how it's designed, because otherwise businesses won't have the motivation to do business. Also, the thing is, if you think of it, जैसे अगर अपने gold in India का बात करते हैं, तो gold in rupee terms has gone up higher than gold in dollar terms, because while gold was going up, rupee also got a little depreciated $2, right? So for us as buyers of gold in India, we got double benefit. And अगर ऐसे सोचते हो तो the entire world is at war. 4 महीना पहले you had an issue with India and Pakistan that was skirmish happening. You had Russia-Ukraine, which has been happening, which I think Russia mines gold. There's a lot of issue with the Middle East. People are losing faith on the dollar because the USD has that much debt to, you know, pay on a higher interest rate. Bigger countries like the UAE, Russia, India, China are buying up gold reserves to stock up their reserves. So this is very wild, but again, if you think of it, once every decade, gold and silver goes up like crazy.
Okay. तो इसलिए बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब लेओवर नहीं होना है, पोर्टफोलियो मैनेज करना है.
हाँ, बिकॉज इसमें एक और चीज़ क्या है ना कि अभी गोल्ड सिल्वर में क्या होता है ना कि अगर आप किसी को बेच दियो, थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक दैट, you have a jewelry store, you've sold someone a silver something, right? And आपके पास inventory नहीं है, the prices have gone up, the guy comes and asks for it, you call your dealer and say like मेरे को चांदी दे नहीं है, the guy says तो मेरे पास भी इतना नहीं है जितना तेरे को चाहिए, he calls somebody else up, and because that physical चांदी नहीं है किसी के पास, the prices will start going up like crazy because everyone will be trying to hedge their open position with the market.
So on that note, can you explain कि अभी गोल्ड और सिल्वर के प्राइसेस इतने बढ़ क्यों रहे हैं सडनली?
इसीलिए बढ़ रहा है ना, बिकॉज ऑफ द शॉर्ट स्क्वीज हैज हैपेंड.
तो ग्लोबली क्या हो रहा है?
यही हो रहा है ना कि अगर आप सोचते हो तो ग्लोबली क्या हो रहा है इज every central bank, or like, you know, every central bank effectively is supposed to have a gold reserve against which they can issue currencies.
हाँ, तो जितना आपके पास गोल्ड है उतना ही आप करेंसी प्रिंट कर सकते हो.
Correct.
That's how the global economy works, right?
Yes. Apart from the US, तो US में वो concept नहीं है because US had said that they shouldn't be pegged with the gold standard. So US has the liberty to print whatever money they want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is
without having any gold reserve.
Yeah, they can do that.
Okay.
So now the problem is, अगर आप ऐसे सोचते हो ना, तो what happened in the last couple of decades was the world traded with the US, and the US issued everyone IOUs, which is basically like a debt instrument where the US says कि I will not give you money today, but here take a debenture or a bond which says that I owe you and I'll only give you interest.
Against what? मतलब they were selling goods to the US.
Correct.
And US said कि मैं ये goods के आज पैसे नहीं दूंगा, but ये जितना भी आपने मुझे सामान दिया ये डेट बन गया, और इस डेट का इंटरेस्ट मैं पे करता रहूंगा.
हाँ. और ये डेट आपका है, तो आपको कभी भी अगर बॉन्ड का रुपया चाहिए तो आप ये ओपन मार्केट में बेच करके रुपया ले सकते हो.
Okay.
या आप मेरे पास आओगे, I'll redeem it for you.
ठीक है.
So this has been happening for the last 4-5 decades, right?
ठीक है.
अगर आप सोचते हो तो इसी चक्कर में US currency became like the standard reserve currency.
अच्छा, क्योंकि वो सबको डेट देने लग गए.
हाँ. And because the tariffs were low for so long, every country had the motivation to trade with the US.
कि उनको एक तो सामान उनका चले जाएगा, प्लस उनको उस पर इंटरेस्ट आना शुरू हो जाएगा.
हाँ.
ओके.
मतलब आपका नेट तो बिक रहा है ना, आपका बैलेंस शीट तो स्ट्रांग हो ही रहा है, इवन दो कि आपके एसेट साइड में खाली उसका बॉन्ड्स हैं. हाँ. But your balance sheet is still stronger.
Correct.
Plus, आपका local economies is growing like crazy. You are selling everything to America, which is a very very aggressive consumption economy because they had zero interest rates, so they didn't mind just buying anything. So now this has been happening for that long, right? What has behaved like a ripple effect in the water is as soon as the interest rates in the US have never been this high. Now the problem is, अगर आपके पास में 1% का interest rate का debt bond था, अब वो 1 का 5 हो गया. The odds are that maybe you don't have 5 to pay today.
As US.
As US, right? At which point आप जाकर के, which is actually why the US is in the shutdown right now, right? Because they're not being able to expand the debt ceiling. So they need to get more, they need the permission of the parliament in the US to expand the debt ceiling in which they will borrow more from
other countries.
The US
Achha.
to pay this interest.
Okay.
Right? So to print more money. But every time they print more money, their debt goes up within themselves because their money is their currency.
Yeah.
Okay? But it still goes up. Now the idea is, all the other countries who have a massive reserve of the dollar might start thinking that maybe the US dollar is not as strong as we thought. So if the US does go down, it will take everyone down who has dollars because suddenly dollars will just be a paper. So they have to defend their economies by buying gold.
Okay.
Because now you need a currency, right? Like, अभी तक जो आप currency सोच रहे थे of the best grade might just turn into paper. Realistically, वो नहीं होगा because, you know, like, it can't happen because the amount of checks and safes and in place. But then that's happening. The fact is, the countries are buying gold.
तो गोल्ड का प्राइस इसलिए बढ़ा हुआ है क्योंकि सारी कंट्रीज अभी गोल्ड खरीदने में लगी हुई हैं.
हाँ, और in most cases जितना गोल्ड इन लोग खरीद रहे उतना गोल्ड है ही नहीं.
वर्ल्ड में एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता.
Probably नहीं, वर्ल्ड में हो सकता है बट माइंड नहीं है
Okay.
या फ्रीली अवेलेबल नहीं है.
ओके.
तो उसमें क्या होता है कि अगर आप मेरे को फोन करके बोलते हो मेरे को 10 किलो सोना चाहिए और मैं अगर सोना का काम कर रहा हूँ तो मैं आपको मना तो करूँगा नहीं, I'll say yes.
बट अगर 10 लोग फोन कर रहे हो तो आप प्राइस बढ़ाओगे.
Exactly. और होता क्या है ना कि अगर आप आके मेरे को बोलते हो कि मेरे को सोना दो, मैं कहाँ से लाऊंगा? In most cases, the biggest problem with the markets is a lot of times these just become synthetic paper.
On the gold note, you were telling me something about the Roman Empire, right? What was that? That why the Roman Empire went down?
If you think of it, what the Romans did, right, was it's a very common concept around currency. अगर आप सोचते हो तो you had barter system, like, you know, the original way of doing business or dealings was barter system. And people said कि fair, आपके पास गेहूं है, मेरे पास गाय है, मैं आपको गाय दूंगा या दूध दूंगा, मेरे को इतना गेहूं दोगे. Then eventually people must have realized कि यार गाय divisible नहीं है, क्योंकि आप एक गाय को काट दोगे तो फिर वो attribute goes away, you can't do it.
Of course.
And then probably someone must have realized that it's best to turn this into gold or brass or copper, etc. Right? What the Romans did was they did the same thing. Probably they had the same journey. But when they reached the gold stage, they realized that gold was too expensive to have it given to everyone, right? So then they said that they started shaving the same gold coins to make more gold coins. So for example, if you had one gold coin, which was worth 1 unit of the currency, they took that and they shaved 4 parts of it and made one more gold coin.
तो
So
4
suddenly-
गोल्ड कॉइन हो गए एक के.
Correct. So that's was the first proper thought of inflation. But actual store of value 4x नहीं हुआ था.
हाँ.
आप अपने करेंसी को बाय 4 कर दिए.
हाँ.
जैसे I'm not getting a good example of it right now in real world, but I'm sure there is. But this happens, right? Like, so that kept happening. And then the next step was to take those coins and then make more coins. So you're making more, you're basically printing more currency, but the store of value isn't changing. And that's probably what led to their default, like, you know, the bankruptcy of the Roman Empire, if you think of it.
Okay, quickly for the audience, can you explain what are SIPs and why are they so good?
Systematic investment plans. Okay, so SIPs are a systematic investment plan. I'm sure people know of that. The reason why they are good is because it lets you average up or average down, right? It lets you average, right? अब प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है ना कि अगर आप कोई स्टॉक लेते हो, मेंटल बायस ये होती है कि अगर वो ऊपर जा रहा है तो और लेना चाहिए, अगर नीचे जा रहा है तो नहीं लेना चाहिए, क्योंकि सब लोग आपको बोल दिए कि नेवर बाय अ फॉलिंग नाइफ. An SIP does away with these biases. But again, SIPs will only work properly with index funds.
Okay.
Or any fund for that matter, because even though आप उस फंड में रुपए लगा रहे हो, आप एक सेविंग कर रहे हो, but that fund is being managed by somebody who's sane enough to know which stocks to add more money in.
And where to exit, हाँ.
Think of a Yes Bank, right? Yes Bank, I think 500 रुपए से 5 रुपए बिका था. कोई भी अगर उसमें SIP कर रहा था तो वो फेल हो गया.
हाँ, बट अगर कोई इंडेक्स में कर रहा था तो बच गया. ठीक है. अच्छा, वन मोर थिंग यू टोल्ड मी कि इन्फ्लेशन इज गुड, right? You told me
Yeah.
that the more inflation that happens,
Yeah.
more people earn on the investment.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't understand that. Can you explain that part?
Right. So see, understand what is inflation, right? मतलब अगर अपने देखते हैं तो अभी there's a lot of discussion and stuff happening about the Indian inflation rate being low, and I'm sure like a lot of people don't think the Indian inflation rate is low, but let's ballpark inflation rates should be high because not very high. Like that's where the central bank comes in because their entire job is to make sure that the inflation is in control, which they do through interest rates. मतलब अगर inflation बहुत कम हो जाता है तो rate कम करने से they increase the liquidity of money, which bumps up inflation. If it goes up by too much, then they increase the rates, which is happening in the US, right? Inflation went up too much, they increase the rates. Now, why is it good for business? It motivates businesses. आप सोचो आप कोई काम कर रहे हो, आप आज कुछ रॉ मटेरियल लिए 100 रुपये में, आपको 2 महीने लगा उसको उस पर वैल्यू एड करने का. 2 महीने बाद वो 100 रुपये का आप सोचो 20 रुपये का वैल्यूएशन करते हो, 100 का 120 हो गया, आपका सेलिंग प्राइस 120 है. बट नाउ सोचो कि 5% इन्फ्लेशन है, तो 1/4 of 5, or like let's go with 5% inflation. So now you're actually selling it for 125. So this 5 that you made extra is the inflation that you've earned, right? Because अगर आज फिर आप वो जो 100 रुपये वाला चीज आज लोगे वो आप 105 में लोगे, तो ये जो 5 का डिफरेंस है ना, दिस यू विल टेक फ्रॉम द बायर्स ऑफ द करंट यूनिट. अगर ये नहीं होता है, ठीक है, आप 100 में लिया, आप 120 से बेचे, आप कुछ नहीं कमा रहे हो. You have no motivation to do business. If you think of it, which is again, I think it's a common myth which people have had for the longest time. But अगर आप सोचते हो ना तो ऐसा लगता है, बहुत जन ऐसे बोलते हैं कि 30 रुपये का ₹2 था, 88 रुपया हो गया and all that. उसका मैथ्स ये है कि India has always had high positive interest rates and US has always had those lower, right? So, and it's by design. Why by design? Because that way the rupee depreciates by 5 to 6% every year.
Okay.
अगर आपका रुपया हर साल 5 से 6% कमजोर होता है ना, जितने भी इंडस्ट्री इंडिया में है उनको एक्सपोर्ट करने का मोटिवेशन है.
हाँ, करेक्ट, क्योंकि उनको तो उतना ही फायदा हो गया.
उनको 6% का बेनिफिट है ना, विदाउट एक्चुअली एडिंग वैल्यू टू इट. दे मेक 6% जस्ट लाइक दैट. इट्स द सेम मैसिव इन्फ्लेशन. दीज आर थिंग्स टू इन अ वे मोटिवेट पीपल टू डू दैट बिजनेस एंड स्टफ, राइट? अगर धंधा नहीं होगा तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट नहीं आएगी.
But you also said कि inflation plus something is the growth rate of the economy, right? What was that?
Inflation plus growth, right? Like that's the growth rate of the markets.
Okay, हाँ, growth rate of the
Because,
markets, yeah.
Like अगर आप सोचते हो तो let's assume inflation is 0. To think of it, growth भी कम हो जाएगा.
So essentially अगर inflation हो रहा है, जितना inflation हो रहा है उतना ही markets भी grow कर जाएगा.
Plus the growth rate.
Plus the growth rate.
क्योंकि even without inflation, your economy will grow, right? मतलब
तो ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि इन्फ्लेशन बढ़ रहा है बट मार्केट नहीं ग्रो कर रहा है.
ऐसा तब हो सकता है जब आपका इकोनॉमी डी ग्रो कर रहा है.
ओके.
विच इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि अगर इन्फ्लेशन हो रहा है तो इकोनॉमी कम कैसे होगा.
ओके.
इन डॉलर टर्म्स कम होगा डेफिनेटली, बट देन वो एडजस्ट हो जाएगा इन करेंसी.
अच्छा, क्विक क्वेश्चन. बिकॉज हमारा करेंसी हर साल 5-6% डिप्रिशिएट कर रहा है, शुडंट एवरीवन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इन द यूएस मार्केट? 6% तो आपको ऐसे ही मिल जाएगा.
नहीं मिलता ना, वो बराबर हो जाता है ना. क्योंकि आप अगर आज 100 रुपये में आप 100 रुपये का डॉलर ले रहे हो,
हाँ,
आप डॉलर में डाल दिया, जब आप उसको घुमा के लाओगे,
हाँ,
ये 100 का 106 हो गया ना,
हाँ.
तो वो तो एडजस्ट हो गया उसमें.
नहीं, अगर मैं यूएस के स्टॉक मार्केट में डालूं तो?
बट वो रुपये फिर वहीं रहेगा. As soon as you turn into INR, you've lost that alpha.
Okay.
Because the gain has gone away, right? Like,
Okay.
जो अपने देख रहे हैं कि 6% मेरे गेन हो गया in that currency, अब जैसे इसको वापस आते हो वो तो वहीं 0 हो गया ना.
Okay.
क्योंकि ये यहाँ पे उतना महंगा हो गया या सस्ता हो गया.
What's your take on crypto?
I don't understand it, but I think it's one of those things which are liquidity driven. Again, same thing with gold and silver, right? Crypto is only going up since, if you think of it, the first trigger was when El Salvador said that they will use crypto as a currency. The second trigger was when Trump said that they would use that crypto as a reserve currency, right? If anything, आप सोचो ना, कोई भी चीज़ which is available in a limited supply, and if there is another party on the other side which says I will keep buying it till I buy this many units,
तो बढ़ेगा
the
ही.
price can be, it can go anywhere.
तो करना चाहिए इन्वेस्ट क्रिप्टो में?
मेरे हिसाब से तो नहीं करना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर आपको करना है तो मार्केट्स में करो ना. यू गेटिंग लाइक रियल टैंजिबल कंपनीज. See, first of all, most of these instruments are intangible in the crux of it. Now imagine buying something जिसका underlying भी intangible है.
सही हो.
मतलब, it doesn't make sense to me. I have a friend, a very close friend of mine, who has a proxy, like who has a hedge fund which just does crypto. They've made phenomenal money in the last 2 years, and we've talked for hours. I still don't understand.
Interesting.
I don't think he does either, but
Asha, very quickly, since you study so many big companies,
yeah.
Are there 1 or 2 examples that you can share of growth stories that aspiring entrepreneurs can learn from? You know that, okay, ये company ने ये चीज़ ऐसे crack करी.
I think one such is Reliance. Like, I tell this example to everyone I come across. I don't think it is something which is an aspirational thing to an entrepreneur, but I think everyone can learn from it. अगर आप सोचते हो तो जब Reliance अपनी IPO लाया था तो वो विमल था. It was like a wool, like a सूता company था, textile company था, right? The management was visionary enough to dovetail from there to refinery. That is how agile you need to be. Okay. Now, if you think of it, diversification from cotton and a textile to refining, like a oil refinery, is wild. But then they pulled it off. Okay. From there, they moved to data and telecom, right? Which is again a very wide diversification. Statistically, most companies who try that fail.
Okay.
Statistically speaking, every such company that has tried to diversify into a non-ancillary business has gone down. My favorite example is Nabisco, right? Like, they were from tobacco company to try and buy biscuits. It didn't work out. Okay, so it is tough to pull off. But when someone has done it multiple times and now they've gone to retail and have gone to retail big.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means there's something that they're doing right. It's a culture thing mostly. It's a DNA. There's some secret available, within. But I think that's how bulletproof an organization has to be. For any entrepreneur, if they cannot be this agile, I don't think businesses are for them. Because आप सोचो ना आज के दिन में भी अपनी बात करते हैं disruption का. अगर कोई भी company is being formed as a disruption, तो उसको it is disrupting something.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to be the guy who disrupts and not gets disrupted. That can only happen if you have this agility.
Very interesting.
I personally don't have, right? So I like to bet on the guys who do.
Sure.
Which makes you an investor, right? If you think of it, if you think about how the Reliance management has pulled this off, I will actually give more credit to the investor. The guy today who has Reliance's IPO shares deserves more credit than the management. Because this guy didn't get scared when a textile company said we're going to refine oil. That's still okay. The fact that these guys went from refining oil to data and telecom, which is one of the biggest loss-making industries in the world after aviation, I think, okay? Because वो business ऐसा है कि वो खाली cash burn है. To being profitable, which is, I don't know how they do it, but this is something which you have to admire and be inspired of.
Wow. Okay, a lot of people invest on tips, right? ये बहुत common है. What's your advice to them? How should they look at tips?
I think, it's the same example that we started with the poker, right? Tips are sexy, right? Like, people like that. People like the bragging rights. They like to go meet a friend over a drink and say, I bought this stock at 2 rupees, it's now 200. My 2 questions to them in most cases is A, how much did you buy? And B, where is your next such tip coming from? होता क्या है ना, it's also a beginner's luck thing. आपको पहला दो तो अच्छा मिलेगा कहीं ना कहीं से, बट कहीं ना कहीं तो वो अनस्केलेबल हो ही जाता है ना. आप कब तक वो चीज़ कर लोगे? आज अगर आपके पास 1 लाख रुपए है, which is, अगर आपके पास 1 करोड़ है, तब वो 1 लाख से आप ये करोगे. आप 100% एफर्ट से नहीं करोगे. If you think of it, I personally think investing and stock markets is a very, don't take me on like face value when I say this, it's a very cozy business. It's for people who like to do nothing. Because this is where they make the most money. आप सोचो ना, मेरे पास 100 रुपया है, मैं पूरा रुपया इंडेक्स में डालता हूँ, मेरे 18% रिटर्न है. अगर मैं इंडेक्स में डाल के छोड़ देता हूँ, मैं टैक्स भी नहीं दे रहा हूँ, क्योंकि टैक्स इज ओनली ड्यू व्हेन आई सेल दैट स्टॉक, राइट?
कंपाउंडिंग मिल रही है आपको उसकी.
एंड नो स्ट्रेस, इट कांट फेल. लाइक, आई एम श्योर देयर इज सम probability where it can fail, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay, let's quickly talk about buying a home versus renting one, which is like always spoken about. But you, of course, had a take on it.
I think इसमें पता क्या है ना, this is again one of those things which I think people have passed over generations of trauma, right? आप सोचो ना, today you will see people hustling to buy their first home, okay, which has been very romanticized for some reason, okay, because I understand that 3 generations ago you didn't have a home in the city, but today you have a home somewhere. It's a tier 3 city में होगा, 2 में होगा, 1 में होगा, कहीं पे तो है ही, ठीक है, and आपको एक ही घर चाहिए. At the end of the day, unless like you need one family home or you need your parents' house or like one such thing, right? I think buying a home is the one decision which can be delayed till the absolute retirement age. Because till that point, अगर आप एक अच्छे जॉब पे हो, आपको पता ही नहीं है कि आप कल किस जगह में होगे. And B, if you think of it, renting, अगर आप सोचते हो तो कहीं पे भी रेंटिंग का 4-5% yield ऊपर नहीं है. Home loan is like 8-9%. The thought is that the difference between the renting yield and the home loan ka yield is what you will create on the real estate ka value appreciation, which I think is rare. But again, I mean, that's my thought. If you think of it, in most cases, people's parents become their first bullies, where they pressure the child into get the best
People's parents
grade.
becomes the first bully.
I think it's a very. I don't think it's just an Indian thing. I think it's a across the board thing.
Why do you say that?
Because like the average child is pressured to do everything going ahead, right? Even the buying a house is mostly something planted at an early age because they're like, get a big job in a big city, in a big house, your first house. And all of that can actually wait. If you think of it, buying a house today is just a very romantic thought. I have not seen anyone who's bought a house cash down. You, in most cases, buy a house on an EMI. You pay 8 to 9% on the EMI. The average rental yield is 5 or like 4 to 5% का rental yield मिलता है आपको. Even in like the best 5-star properties, you get 3-4% का rental yield, right? Up every time you buy a house, you're betting that the house will at least grow by 6% for 30 years for you to break even on this deal. It makes no sense. On the other hand, if you just invest this, which you're investing on the house EMIs in the market, again, it could be silver, gold, stocks, whatever. You're investing it, and then 30 years later, you'll have an entire kitty to buy a retirement home.
Yeah.
आज आप अगर सोचते हो तो in our generation, we don't know where our jobs or employment or work will take us. We could be in a different city every 3-4 years. What happens to your house? You're paying an EMI on some house, and somebody else is probably staying on rent. Whose rent income you're using to pay off the rent that you're paying for another house you're living in because your job took you there. And at the end, when you're 60 years of age, you realize you want to retire in Goa. It's just a mess, right?
Yeah.
And also, kya hai na ki in the last 5-7 years, technology has come to a point where renting a house is very easy and seamless. अगर आप सोचते हो तो 10 साल पहले probably घर rent करना was a big pain. You had to go to the area, find the local pawn shop, ask him who the broker is, and like it was unorganized, it was messy. But now it's far more convenient to just rent a house. You don't like it, rent a new house.
Fair. Okay, what's the smart way to buy a car, financially speaking?
I think the biggest motivation to start a business or a job is like the amount of tax breaks you can adjust into it. So buying a car is always good to do cash down because
अच्छा पूरा एक बार में दे दो.
हाँ, अगर नहीं है तो मत लो.
Okay.
Because वैसे क्या होता है ना, आप अपना expense मतलब अपना expense को वो कर रहे हो. But again, when I say that, I don't mean cash down as in like go pay the entire cash. I mean make sure you have that cash.
Okay.
But then do a car loan. Use that money in a business, but only do it when you have a business. Okay, like अगर आपके पास a business नहीं है, then you cash down, you buy it. If you're a job, if you're doing a job, if you're an employee, you buy it cash down because then you know this liability is not being financed through the course of your next 4-5 years, right? But if you're doing a business, you take a loan, like you do the whole car loan thing. You let the company buy the car. The interest you pay for the company, the EMIs, the car's EMIs, the company gets a tax break on that. You use all the money that you've built. I mean, the money that you've not paid for the car. You invest it in your business. Ideally, you're at least making 13-14% in a business. Otherwise, आप धंधा क्यों कर रहे हो? And आपका कार लोन शायद 10-12% का होगा. अगर आपका छोटा धंधा है तो आप 20-25% कमा रहे हो. Effectively, the car is free to you. But as soon as you pay that money out to buy that car, you've set yourself back by that much money.
Because you have nothing to invest to grow the business. Okay, very quick take on insurance.
Okay.
Why is it important and which ones?
I think, again, insurance is one of those things where Mediclaim is outright crucial because, you know, if you think of it, you could have people could have the worst illnesses at any age. There's no age to it. Plus, the lifestyle most of us lead is not very bang on. And even if it is, it's a risk that you don't want to take. So insurance is basically risk hedging, right? You're giving your risk to a kitty of a lot of people. And the idea of an insurance is everyone's paying a premium, but when some one of these guys has an issue, all the premium is used to pay for that one guy in a bulk. And it keeps happening. So Mediclaim is something you have to have. Like and a proper Mediclaim. Like अगर आप सोचते हो ना तो 2 generation पहले पापा लोग का generation or before that, Mediclaim or term insurance or all these insurance products was something which some relative in the house had an LIC agency who got it and everyone for the obligation of it took it. But I think now that's changed. People are more mature or understand better. Insurance, Mediclaim is required because medical bills have gone up. Like अगर आप सोचते हो तो 5-7 साल पहले बहुत कम सुनने मिलता था कि उसका दवा दारू का बिकॉज ऑफ दवा दारू का खर्चा घर खत्म हो गया. बट नाउडेज it's becoming common and it's very scary. So Mediclaim is required. I think term is an insurance which is also something people who are under 35 should consider because it makes sure that if you're running a salary or something like that, even if you're not, it's a good investment to do because if things go down, the people who are preceding you get like a good lump sum. It can never like trade off a life of someone, but it's still a good investment to have because if you think of it, if you want to leave your spouse with a 5 crore kitty or like a 3 crore kitty, right, on retirement, it's a different conversation कि वो retirement के दिन 3 crore का क्या value रहेगा. But अगर आप ऐसा सोचते हो करने का, तो with a term insurance you're hedging that risk.
कि अगर बीच में if you God forbid lose your life,
Yeah.
then you have someone to fulfill that kitty.
Like that is
Fair.
hedged.
Okay, very quickly, why is it important to have a good credit score? You spoke about something
Yes.
India, right?
So I think again, like this connects with my original idea and a discussion of making sure we use credit cards right. A good credit score guarantees you lower interest rates.
Okay.
Now the problem is if you've never had a credit card, you don't have a credit score, and no credit score, you get you get poor to medium average interest rates, right? But a good credit score is something which you'll need when you actually buy that house.
And that's where you
Eventually.
save money.
Yeah, because अगर आप आज जॉब चालू किए हो और 5 साल बाद आप एक घर खरीद रहे हो, आपका क्रेडिट हिस्ट्री 5 साल का है, आपको अच्छा रेट नहीं मिलेगा. Probably 10-15 साल बाद अगर आप करते हो तो 15 of credit history and good credit history can get you a very good home loan negotiated, right?
Interesting. On loans, right? Where do people get it right and where do people get it wrong?
I think the biggest issue with loans is you never take a loan to finance a liability. Unless you are sure that the ROIC of that amount,
ROIC is?
return on invested capital, is higher than the loan amount. Basically the car example that we said, right? अगर आपके पास पैसे नहीं हैं तो मत लो. अगर है तब आप लोन लेके करो because you know कि वो रुपया कहीं और invested is giving you a better return. पर ये दोनों चीज़ नहीं होना चाहिए. Same thing with the credit card. If you don't have the money, don't spend.
But अगर है तो क्रेडिट कार्ड पे स्पेंड करो और जो पैसा आप वैसे स्पेंड करते हो उसको इन्वेस्ट करके ज्यादा ग्रो करो.
हाँ, एंड आप क्रेडिट कार्ड का बिल से इन्वेस्टमेंट को ट्रेड ऑफ कर सकते हो.
हाँ.
और वो बहुत इजीली होता भी है.
So, do you believe that people can truly generate wealth without running a business?
I think to rephrase that in a response, right? You can't generate wealth without equity. Okay. अगर अपने बेसिक इक्विटी जर्नी करते हैं जहाँ पे आप सैलरी जॉब में कमा रहे हो और कैश फ्लो इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तो फिर आपको 20-30 साल लगेगा. मतलब इट विल टेक द एंटायर जर्नी. हैविंग अ बिजनेस इज जस्ट लेवरेज इक्विटी. अगर आप सोचते हो तो आज अगर आप धंधा कर रहे हो, कोई भी काम कर रहे हो, उसमें आपको एक वर्किंग कैपिटल का एडवांटेज है. ठीक है, इक्विटी में नहीं है. आज मैं अगर सोचो 20% का बिजनेस कर रहा हूँ और अगर 100 रुपये मेरे को वर्किंग कैपिटल लोन चाहिए एट अ 10% इंटरेस्ट, that 10% interest I'm paying, and I'm paying it once a year, but I'm paying that 20% ROE on every churn, right? Each time the 100 rupees I churn throughout the business, I make 15-20%. मेरे पास 100 रुपये है जो मेरा business setup cost है. So my actual return is far higher than equity markets can do. But the problem here is I can't scale that big. अब इसमें क्या होता है, अगर आप धंधा कर रहे हो तो वो 10 साल, 5 साल, 15 साल अगर आप ग्रो करते हो, at some point the growth will come down. अगर धंधा बड़ा नहीं होता है तो आप उसको लिस्ट नहीं कर सकते हो. अगर धंधा बहुत बड़ा होता है तो जहाँ पे ग्रोथ टैप हो रही होती है वहाँ पे द बिजनेस गोज इनटू लिस्टिंग, they raise fresh money and the growth is back. But if it's a small business and this cash flow you can't grow, right? The idea is to have all the cash flow coming in invested in the markets or gold. But without the combination of each, you can't really create wealth. मतलब अगर आप सोचते हो कि खाली आपके सैलरी से आप वेल्थ क्रिएट कर लोगे तो आप कर लोगे, that's true. But by the time you create that wealth, you won't have the time to enjoy it.
So bottom line कि अगर आप सैलरी अर्न कर रहे हो तो उसको आप स्टॉक्स में डालो, ETF में डालो, इंडेक्स फंड में डालो, तो उससे वेल्थ जनरेट होगी, बट बहुत लेट होगी. तो उस अगर आपको जल्दी वेल्थ जनरेट करके इंजॉय करना है उसको, तब आपको बिजनेस खोलना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, क्योंकि मतलब अगर आप सोचते हो तो वो ट्रेड ऑफ है ना. आप या तो अग्रेसिवली बिजनेस करके जल्दी रिटायर होते हो, या अगर अपने सोचते हैं तो इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट इज ऑल्सो डूइंग अ बिजनेस. Otherwise, you're doing a more conservative business and you're taking more time to retire.
Interesting. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your personal journey.
Yes. About that.
Finally. Was there a moment when you felt कि सब खत्म हो गया?
I think I've been very blessed to have not, obviously like failing level 2 was one of those moments. But you realize it's not something which is that big. I think the second such moment was when COVID crash happened, right? Because I was fully invested.
Yeah.
And you see I think the good thing in that crash was because the markets kept hitting a low circuit, you couldn't sell anything. Okay. And like when the markets revived and suddenly you had all the faith you had in the markets come back, you were good to go. But during that thing, it did feel like all the maths didn't make sense suddenly, like,
Yeah.
Because at the end, if the entire world is coming to an end, no amount of financial knowledge or economics understanding can do anything.
Yeah.
But at that point, the good thought was if the world is coming to an end, then money means nothing.
तो ठीक है, होने दो.
So might as well stay invested and hope
it comes.
Like, that was like an R-par thing, right? Like either everything is going to end and nothing will really matter, or things will go back to where they were. And then again, the whole maths will make sense.
Sure. How has being an entrepreneur changed your life?
I think the best thing of being an entrepreneur is how you are solving a problem every day on your own terms. So if you go back to my original thought of, trying to do a job and everything, was the only problem there was I would have been told what to do, how to do, right? But I can't be innovative about it. Being an entrepreneur, we can be extremely innovative, right? As I said about the costs and everything. So we have very low expenses. And a major reason for that is the amount of automation I've been able to pull off, right? Which is all things you enjoy as being a business owner or an entrepreneur. Because what people don't understand is the ability of being very efficient that leaves you so much more time, which you can focus on actually doing what you love, which is in my case, research. This, that's my hobby, which I've turned into a business, which you can't really do in a job, right? Because in a job, you have deliverables. And what I've heard is if you deliver soon, then you have more deliverables. Right? It's like a doom loop. And your superiors are never happy.
Yeah. What drives you today?
I love this question. I think what drives me is not money, as like what people must think is, you're a capitalist, you're not investments, money is all you care about. I think for me, it's about creating a product. The way I see it is, I think what we're doing with the AIF, I would someday want to see it like the perfect working capital investment product, right? If you think of it, the biggest ultra HNI issues that have happened on finance front is when they had liquid capital and some friend of theirs or buddy of theirs or like a kaka of theirs have come and told them to buy some random plot somewhere or some stock, which has gone bust. Okay. Our fund is as liquid as it can possibly be. It's long short. And it invests in the best franchises in India. In a rolling 2-3 year period, it is almost impossible for things to go bad.
Interesting.
And again, things could go bad. That's what I almost, right? But then that is what drives me, because if you are actually able to create a product which can replace a working capital, right? It's like a Vanguard moment. Vanguard is the company which started Index funds.
Okay.
And their concept was very simple. It was just to create an investment product which didn't require human intervention. Little did they know that years after inception from Vanguard's index funds, most active managers haven't been able to beat index funds. And think about it, right? Like, you have all these guys who have gone to the best schools, have the best degrees, most expensive Armani suits, and they still can't beat a machine.
Yeah. Okay, very quickly, what does your day look like?
Oh, it's aggressive. I think
What time do you sleep? What time do you wake up?
See, in most cases, I have to be up at around latest by 7, right? Because I
Okay.
have to be on the screen by 8:30 to make sure the world is where I left it when I went to bed.
Okay.
Right now with Trump, it is not. In most days, it's not the same. But yeah, so that's how the day starts. We run we're a quant desk, right? So in most cases, we have the quant running perpetually. It never stops. Markets for us is mostly just making sure that everything is working, or like stocks are just behaving the way they should. If there's anything which is gone out of sync, if something goes up or down by 3 to 5%, we want to understand why. If we think something is fundamentally broken, or if something is euphoric, right? So we had a company called VTL. There was a trade deal hype or announcement. The stock was up 20%. We sold a bit of it. Eventually, the trade deal didn't happen, so the stock tanked 20%. So the 40% move in 1 month, which is why for us being on the screen is important. But we don't trade every day. We are not traders, because the companies that we are buying, we're very invested and very interested in what they are doing. Like, the first thing we look for in a company is their business model, right? See, at the end, if the business model is sound, it will eventually make you more money than you've invested.
Okay.
The sound business is something which is required to understand. So apart from that, most of my day I'm just reading stuff, like mostly about the businesses I own, or the companies we invested in.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do a quick rapid fire now.
Okay.
One stock no one should buy.
Vodafone.
Okay. One company you wish you started.
Urban Company.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say Vanguard.
No, Urban Company. So you know what? This was something which came to me when I was in somewhere in school or college or something, and me and my cousin were discussing this. And the idea was, we had this problem that every day, you don't get a carpenter anymore, you get an AC mechanic guy. And what if there was an app? Again, we didn't pull through because we were in school and stuff. And I think a month later, Urban Clap, as it was called.
Yeah.
And I've been a big fan of it. I didn't buy the stock, even though it's listed right now, but I think it adds value to society. Vanguard, probably, but I was the 1950s or something, man.
Yeah. Okay, one client you would work for free.
My first few clients, like my first core family, because so most of the clients we have today are investing in an idea of which the proof of concept exists. But the original guys, when I remember going and pitching to them that if there was a portfolio of just the best of the best companies bought in a bad market cycle, or the whole jargon, right, or the whole thought behind it, they didn't bother. They just put in when we started this, the advisory we started with, our minimum was 50 grand to 1 lakh.
One celebrity you would want as your brand ambassador, and why?
I have no idea. I don't follow movies.
Could be anyone.
I don't know celebrities, man. I don't know names.
Okay. What's the dark side of this industry?
So I've often been asked, why we don't do distribution, right? So I think that's the one dark side. I wouldn't call it the dark side of it as such. I think there's a big glitch where investments and skin in the game come in. Okay. And I know a lot of great financial advisors and who really look out for their clients' interest. But then I also know a lot of people or managers or portfolio guys or PMS guys whose interest is not aligned with making sure the client makes money. So for example, I was interacting with somebody who actually just told me that the whole he is a fund manager or he's trying to be a PMS guy, whatever. And their comment was that the biggest money is made by the broker, right? I don't know what their MO is, but if they think that broking makes the biggest money in fund management, their intent is not to make the client money.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, what's the most overhyped IPO?
Tata Capital.
Why?
Honestly, I think CCD.
CCD.
Yeah, but that's something like back in the day. We were in college, CCD's IPO had come up. I think they IPO'd at 353 a price, okay, a piece. And I remember discussing this with a few friends of like we were in finance and all that. Everyone was very optimistic because everyone could see CCD every day, everywhere, right? I don't know if a lot of your audience could relate to it, but there was a time when CCD was everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when they did the IPO. The glitch was the business model was a little jacked, right? Because if you think of it, CCD stores were very expensive to build because they had to match the color palette, the interiors had to be done bang on. The maintenance was very expensive. The upkeep had to be up notch. It could not be poor, right? And they were paying massive rent because all these were like big units, okay? India back then didn't have the mindset to pay $300 for a coffee. Now, if you think of it, why Starbucks and why not CCD? Starbucks was launched in the US where people didn't have a home environment to have a coffee in. India always had that. If I had to have a coffee, I would go meet my cousin or I would meet my friends at their houses. We didn't ever have the motivation to meet at a third point store and pay like a premium for the same coffee which you could get at home.
Yeah.
So the business model was kind of bad from the get-go. And I don't think anyone's ever made money on that. Like the day it listed from that to the high.
One stock that everyone should buy right now.
Anything.
Really? Why?
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't say anything. That's a wrong statement to make. But I think most of the stocks, most of consumption stocks, right?
Okay.
So my thought is, if you think of it, the current government is extremely proactive, right? Now, if you think of it, 4 years ago when the government decided, 5 years ago when the government decided to make sure the banking industry was clean, spick and span, 2 years later, all PSU banks had made the most returns.
Okay.
When the government decided that they had to start making in India, the whole defense thing, India is now actually a defense export, right? If you think of this year, the government has been pro-consumption. They want the people to start spending money. And again, without spending money, your GDP can't grow. Because even the companies that are doing all the good job that they're doing, they need to have consumption. अगर आप सोचते हो तो इस साल टैक्स कट से साल चालू हुआ था, अभी GST कट हो गया, बीच में इंटरेस्ट रेट कट कर दिया. Banks have more money to give away at a cheaper interest rate. With GST cuts, people will buy like crazy. And the best thing here is, if you think of it, the average FMCG or consumption stock hasn't made money in the last 5 years.
One red flag to look out for in any company while investing.
Debt. I think what people miss out on is debt is good and bad debt, right? So I don't like companies which have zero debt because अगर आपके पास जीरो डेट है तो उसका मतलब है कि मेरे को ऐसा लगता है अगर कोई कंपनी के पास 10-15% डेट है ना तो उसको पता है कि मैं अपने धंधे से इंटरेस्ट रेट से ज्यादा कमा रहा हूँ. So it gives me an idea of what his ROE is in his mind, right? If a company has zero debt, then I think that their business ka growth rate is lower than the interest rate. I'm not interested. If a company has 2-3x debt, then I think that this guy knows that he's going to go fail at some point. It's already पानी के ऊपर जा चुका है.
Okay. Okay, what's the best advice you've ever received?
I had a mentor, okay. And I think, so the crux of this was, I met him in 2015-16. He's a celebrity investor, I will not take names. And he had told me that the best way to make money is just keep buying. Okay, and I think my entire inclination of actually being 100% into equities came from that statement because unless, see, if you think of it, cash as cash is a bad investment. Because every minute, every moment, it's decaying.
हाँ, correct, yeah.
आपको उसको कहीं तो डालना होगा. अब अगर आपके पास में सोना, if you like think of buying gold, right? Gold is illiquid. You'll never hear of somebody making 100 crores in gold. You have to invest in companies. And the easiest way to do it, if you think of it now, we have been dealt the best cards. You're in a growing economy where the government is genuinely looking out for companies. Inflation is low. Now, why is inflation low a good thing? Is because at some point inflation will go high.
तो जब हाई जाएगा तो आपको रिटर्न आएगा.
हाँ, अगर आप सोचते हो तो अपने बोलते हैं कि 2000 9 तक बाजार बहुत तेज था. इंडिया का बाजार तेज 2009 तक तेज इसलिए नहीं था बिकॉज आप ग्रो कर रहे थे. वो इन्फ्लेशन था. Last 5 years, because we had inflation and growth on our side, we made massive returns. 1 year, we don't have inflation nor we have growth. The entire markets are on the floor. And this is like a balance, right? It has to come back. It's like water levels.
Sure.
You'll always have the water levels go up and come down. It's the same amount of water.
What's the worst advice you've received?
I have a big problem, okay? I have received a lot of advices, taunts, sarcasm, everything. I'm a very optimistic person, so I've tried to make them good in some way. So
Okay.
I don't think I've received the worst advice. Like,
That's good advice. What's been the most fulfilling moment of your journey so far as an entrepreneur?
every day. It's impossible to pick up one such thing. Because I'll tell you what, so when I started this, right, I thought that the day I got the advisory would be my yes day, okay? And then the next, like the goalpost keeps moving. I don't think there's such like, so like वो था, उसके बाद था कि जब ये advisory, corporate advisory होगी तब वो होगा. And उस time में था कि, you know, we'll be a fund someday, then we'll have it. But it just keeps moving, like, you know.
Nice.
And the only urge is to deliver. Like, you have this thing to just be better at your game because you think that the people who are betting on you have a lot more at stake than just their money. It's the faith, right? Many
Correct.
people will lose and make, but the faith is something which you can't really
Mess with.
play around with. No?
Yeah. So Mayank, on that note, this brings us to the end of the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've really shared candidly and broken down so many concepts for us.
Thank you.
I hope लोग देख के सीखें कि इन्वेस्टिंग कैसे करना है. मजा आया? आपको मजा आया?
Yes, it was good. Like, I think like a watershed moment for you because I spoke about very high level finance concepts, but it was a good talk.
Great. Thank you so much for being here.